Fathers podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. If you are going through the family law court process, particularly as a father, then this podcast may be relevant to what you may experience. Some things we discuss in these episodes may be triggering, and if you suffer from any form of mental health related conditions or subject to domestic or family violence and need any assistance, then please call 1-800-RESPECT in Lifeline. The views and experiences discussed by people on our show are not necessarily the views and opinions of Broken Fathers podcast or their guest speakers. We strongly advise you seek your own independent legal and professional advice, as the Broken Fathers podcast will not be liable, answerable, or accountable for any loss or damage or litigation resulting from discussions on our platform. Right, this podcast is now in session. Hold on, guys. The judge is running late to court. So whilst we wait, I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge our platinum sponsor, Straight Up Construction. At Straight Up Construction, they take pride in delivering high-end work across every trade. From new builds to renovations, no job is too big or too small. Director Luke Miller and his dedicated team tackle every project with integrity, hard work, honesty, and a commitment to delivering superior quality results every time. Straight Up Construction is built on the belief that strong foundations matter just as much in the bones of a home as they do in the heart of one. Families should stand strong, and every loving parent should maintain their right to be a part of their children's lives. Straight Up Construction believes that in true Aussie spirit, everyone deserves a fair go. That's why we're proud to have Straight Up Construction as our platinum sponsor. With their support, we continue to produce the Broken Fathers podcast and shine a light on the struggles of men who have been let down by the system. Good morning, listeners and viewers, and welcome back to the Broken Fathers podcast, Australia's first and only podcast dedicated to addressing family court issues from the perspective of fathers. I'm your host, Percy. Now, before I introduce my next guest, just a reminder that the link for my podcast merchandise is in our bio on Insta, Facebook, and TikTok, or just go straight to fkvx.au. Now, a quick shout out to our veteran-owned and operated Cherry Creek estate. After serving Australia on multiple operational deployments as Royal Australian Infantry soldiers, these blokes continue to serve the country, this time through horticulture. Farming and producing food here in Australia for Australians is the backbone of our self-sustainable future. Cherry Creek Estate grows, harvests and supplies around 1 million kilograms of avocados every year. With a strong zero waste mission, any fruit that doesn't make the grade is cold pressed into extra virgin avocado oil, high smoke point, rich in vitamin E, and a true all-rounder for any Aussie kitchen. Grab yours at Woolworths or via Cherry Creek Estate's Amazon store. Now, on today's episode, I'm joined with Brentin Mumford, a 38-year-old father of three, originally from Lismore, New South Wales, but now resides on the Gold Coast. He is a retired mixed martial artist who currently focuses his time and energy on coaching and building fighting fathers out of the Combat Fight gym in Burleigh. After attempting mediation in 2023, the challenges he faced throughout the process inspired him to establish the organisation Fighting Fathers. His goal is to provide essential support to other men as they navigate the complexities of the system. He joins me here today. Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Mate, thanks for coming on. Mate, we obviously know each other outside of here, done a bit of training.
Yep.
I definitely want to touch on Fighting Fathers, but we'll do that at the back end. But mate, like all my guests, before we crack into the family court battles and stuff like that, I like to get to know about my guests. I think it's important, mate. What life was like growing up in Lismore, and how'd you end up getting here at Gold Coast later upon in life?
Life in Lismore, a little country
What is it, hour and a
town,
half?
city, hour and a half from here, I reckon it would be. No, it was alright. Just played sport.
Yeah.
So I did my whole
League?
life. I did that a little bit, but I played ice hockey, funny enough, roller hockey and ice hockey.
Was that ice hockey down Lismore?
So I used to travel up to the Gold Coast
Oh, did you?
and
What?
to Brisbane at the Entertainment Centre.
Yeah.
Up Bundle or Boondle, I think it's called up there.
Wasn't there was ice skating ring at Red Hill somewhere?
Yeah.
I think it burnt down or some shit.
There was one at Logan as well. There was at
Yeah.
but we used to play in Brisbane. And then I moved to end up leaving Lismore in 2003, I think it was,
How
or
old were you
something.
then?
I was 16.
16, yeah.
I left and moved to Canada and went to school.
So you did all your school in Lismore?
In Lismore, yeah, and then I moved to Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. And
for hockey?
For hockey,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Played ice hockey there.
That's
Did
actually
that-
something I didn't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't usually share that too much. I don't know what never comes up really.
Yeah.
It's fighting, being that I did that after, and that's usually the topic of conversation when people talk to me. But yeah, so I played ice hockey over there. Graduated school there. Come back to Australia, and funny enough, that's where I guess my story starts from that, because when I got back to Australia, my partner from high school ended up getting back together, and then she fell pregnant when we were both 18.
All right, so before you went to Canada at 16, what was life growing up? You got siblings?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5.
But,
So two brothers, 2 sisters younger than me.
Yeah, where do they live these days? All over the place?
Yeah, they're all over the place now.
Yeah.
Some are still down in Lismore, some are up in Harvey Bay.
What, mum and dad still together? They split up?
No,
still
they've been together
today?
30. Yeah. Well, I'm 38, and they've been together before I was born. So
it's pretty rare to hear that these days.
not married,
right?
but still together.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. What was life growing up there? It's good, like good upbringing. Just back in the days, riding bikes around the street, be home before the lights come on.
Yep, that's more small. I guess a country town. I guess that's all it was.
What schooling? How'd you go to school?
Yeah, it's good. I was fine.
Yeah.
I just stayed on the cusp of not going home and getting flogged by my old boy by getting in trouble, and then just staying on the cusp of behaving, but getting through it.
What? So when you went to Canada, you went by yourself?
Yep.
What was that like? 16, just jumped on a plane. What?
I'd already done I'd already travelled a fair bit, so I'd already gone over to represent Australia a few times. So I'd already made the flight with coaches and stuff. So I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe it looks like a bit of a bigger deal now with everything going on in society. But back then, I guess a 16-year-old travelling across the other side of the world to live with strangers, so to speak, for 2 years was.
Well, was there a certain club chasing you? Like, you know?
No, it was just I just was. I think I'd just outgrown here, so to speak, and then we just wanted to see what I could achieve with it. Like, that's all I'd ever done. So put all my eggs in one basket. But yeah, then I come back and.
So how long were you there for? 2 years?
2 years, yep.
Yeah, and how was that?
No, it was awesome. I had so much fun there. It was definitely different. Like leaving here and like going over there, they all have their license. So you get their learners at 14, their full license at 16. So I left here where we were riding bikes and walking around town to see each other, and you get over into Canada and got big trucks. And
what's the go of Canada? Because America and Canada, like, you know, they pay each other out. What's the go there?
Yeah, it's all with the way the world is at the moment.
Yeah,
Canada wasn't that place when I lived there.
I heard it's a very left wing there now.
So, back when I was younger, obviously you don't know too much about that. You don't play into politics and shit. You just fucking do what you got to do. Just play sport and whatnot. But now I'm older and obviously more into the politics and stuff. Being that I'm growing, I've got kids. I want to see them have a good future and stuff. Now I see how left leaning Canada is. Maybe more so now than when I was there. When I was there, it was, and I lived in Edmonton, just outside of Edmonton, in a country town called Stony Plain. It was all playing ice hockey, riding quads, riding ski-doos, shooting, hunting.
Sure, yeah.
Like I never really paid attention to it, but obviously on the news and that now, it's a much different place.
Well, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that child support statement saying that the father owes $2.5 million.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, he's still going through his stuff, so he can't come on at the moment. But his ex lives in Canada.
Yeah, okay.
And in Canada, they have that alimony, same as America.
Yeah.
You know, it's different here. I think we call it spouse maintenance, but it's not like my ex tried to do me for that. She wasn't successful, but so they put alimony on top of child support. So there's support for the child and support for the mother. But I've been told, like, and you know, don't fact check me, but you know, out of all the countries in the world, you don't want to be paying child support in Canada. They're very, very pro mother, like most places.
So just like Australia.
Australia, but even worse, they're probably have heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to say owes him 2.5. He said, you know, his ex from child support and said the father's on $500,000 a year. The father was in a certain location working. I've been to this location. There's no internet coverage there, you know, and so he's working a couple months at a time. You know, child support will email you, so you've got 4 weeks to respond. He's working there 2 months at a time. Came back. He said, "What's all this piss?" And they said, "Well, we gave you a chance to respond. You didn't respond, so you're on $500,000 a year." Just no, I'm not. But anyway, mate. All right, so Canada. So you do that. Go there for 2 years. Fucking come back. And so you were dating. You had
before I left. Yeah. So that's the mother of my 2 older kids.
Yep.
My 19-year-old and 11-year-old.
So
that's the mother.
So you guys dated for how long before you went overseas? Like you guys high school dated?
Yeah. Like in total, I think we were together for like 12 years or something.
Well, yes.
So since we're in year 8.
Oh, year 8, yeah.
Then we ended up going back together and were together after I got back from Canada as well.
So 16 was grade 11. So you together probably 4 years before you went to Canada?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Go to Canada 2 years, come back. How long till you rekindle?
Oh, it's like I was straight away.
Oh, so were you still together while you were?
No, we weren't together. No, I think it was just she was in uni, and I come back, went to a uni party, and that's what happened.
Mate, so you come back, you go uni party, you guys rekindle. What's life like there moving forward?
Yeah, it was. I think we had a kid young. Anyone that's had kids young, your kid's trying to raise a kid.
How long were you before you were back before you had your first son? Was it
son? Yeah. Yep. It would have to be maybe 12 months by the time he was born, because it was obviously an accident. It was not something we'd planned. Obviously, being 18.
Yep.
And that was obviously that made us grow up really fast. But I think also too, it puts a lot of pressure on a relationship when you're young with kids. Like you're trying to raise a kid while you're a kid, essentially. So
how did that can you remember that moment where I assume she tells you she's pregnant? What's going through your head?
I cried. I was like, "Fuck, my life's over. What are we gonna do?" Like at that age, like I was hoping to go back to Canada and stuff. Like, but you know, what do they say? Do the crime. Do the time. You know. So, but you know, I obviously wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah. You know, like me and my eldest son are like best mates.
Yeah.
Now.
Did the thought ever cross your mind going, oh, maybe we shouldn't have the baby?
Yeah, 100%. But there was obviously other contributing factors which didn't allow that to take place.
Yep.
So we were kind of, we didn't really have too many options. How far along we found out. There was obviously other circumstances and stuff that happened. By the time we found out, that option was off the table.
Can you remember telling your parents or her parents?
My dad reminds me of it all the time.
Was he
reminds me all the time because he was 21. My mum was 19 and he was 21 when I was born. And he kept saying fuck. And I don't know what's the PG rating on the show. He used to say to me, if it ain't on, it ain't in. Talking about condoms, and I didn't listen. He reminds me all the time. I sat on the back steps of my parents' house and bawled my eyes out, thought my life was over. That's exactly what happened. And he goes, I fucking told you. So he had zero sympathy. But you know, at the end of the day, my young bloke.
Yeah, you wouldn't change it.
I wouldn't change. No way, I wouldn't change. You know, like.
Well, okay, so do your ex's parents live in Lismore at the time? Or
they lived, we lived with them at the time. Obviously, being young, they put us in the garage. They emptied the garage out. They set it up so we could have my young bloke there, and we could get they wanted to help us a lot, same as my parents and whatnot. But yeah, so that was kind of the
starting point.
That was the start. That was a big change.
How's the relationship? Not fractured. There was no. I mean, obviously, first time parenting, stress, so young.
When we broke, we were young. When we broke up, we were inconsiderate to each other, I guess you could say. We were young.
You're still a kid yourself, like you said.
Well, and I was stubborn. Still am stubborn. I was stubborn with a lot of things. I was young. Just I'm not scared to say that I was a young dickhead kind of thing. Like I was just a young idiot. Thought nothing. Thought I'm thinking unbreakable, like invincible, all that shit. But yeah, and then that obviously there's an 8-year gap between him and my daughter to the same mum.
Same mum, yep.
Yeah. So, but we had our ups and downs. There was conflicts and you name it, right? Same as anyone that goes. Most people go for a breakup, right, with kids and that. But for now, like me and my partner are friends with her and her partner. Like I always tell people all the time that even when I talk about with Fighting Fathers, when I talk about to other dads and that they talk about how their ex-partner has a new partner, and they're spending time with their kids, blah blah blah, and they're like, "Fuck, we hate it," So I guess I went through that as well. I was like, "Fuck, someone else is spending more time with my kids than I am." But as I got older, I guess I realised.
Hey guys, just a quick shout out to our gold sponsors. MCH Industries are a mining maintenance specialist company supplying solutions to the coal mining industry in the Bowen Basin and regional New South Wales. They supply superintendents, supervisors, leading hands, diesel fitters, tyre fitters, auto electricians, HV electricians, and trade assistants to assist. the mining one-stop shop for mechanical trades. MCH Industries are always looking for good blokes to jump on the team, so check out their Instagram for more details. And are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? There's only one name that's been leading the way for over 123 years, Ray White. Ray White isn't just another real estate brand. It's a family business built on ambition, trust, and leadership. Today, it stands as the largest real estate group in Australasia, connecting people with homes and investments across the country. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor, or looking for that perfect home, Ray White is committed to delivering authentic, local expertise. Because real estate isn't just about properties, it's about people, communities, and futures. And when it comes to trusted leadership, meet Alex Ilyan, an ex-Army veteran turned dedicated real estate agent. Alex knows what it means to serve, to strategize, and to get the job done. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just have questions, Alex is here to guide you every step of the way, servicing the Geelong, Bellarine, and Surf Coast areas. Ray White, the name you can trust in real estate.
It's, you know, if my ex has found a man that's a nice guy and he's good enough to open his doors to her and my kids and give them a roof over their head and raise them like his own, I think that's unreal. You know what I mean? Like I was always, I guess I was kind of a bit hurt by like, oh fuck, he's getting to spend more time with them than I do. But then I changed my perspective, and I tell people all the time, like if your ex can find a person that treats your kids really well, treats your ex really well, if your ex is getting treated well, much better mother to the kids, right? If he's good to the kids, fuck, that's fantastic. Yep. That's all you could want for your kids, right? So I tell people now, I'm like, look, if you're in a position where you can meet them and chat to them, and you can be, you can not have any animosity, and you can just have a proper conversation without emotion.
Yeah,
you probably find, they're good dudes. Like it's not that, you know, they didn't have anything to do with the breakdown. Yeah. So our relationship now, as we're older, is much better. Like we co-parent really well. You know what I mean? Like that's and it's awesome. Like we have no, you know, my daughter like thinks the sun shines out my ass. You know, thinks I could do no wrong. We have the best relationship ever. And me and her mum broke up when she was 6 months old.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that, and we have the best relationship because their mum it didn't matter what happened between me and her. She was always a big believer of, this is a problem between me and you. It it shouldn't affect the kids. Yeah. Like you getting to see them and spend time with them. What happens between us shouldn't affect that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean, which might have been what somewhat blinded me to my, you know, what ended up happening in the long run, right? Because I thought, oh, you know, break up, there'll be a little bit of turmoil here and there. It'll blow over. You know, we'll just co-parent.
Yep.
It didn't happen.
I'll just so I do your timeline. So you have your first son, your firstborn, and you're living at your partners at the time, your in-laws. To talk us through like the first year parenting. You know.
Honestly, my son's 19. It's so long
ago.
That's fine. I don't even, and I remember I'm an ex. I'm retired MMA fighter, so I've been punched in the head a fair bit.
Okay, can you? So obviously there was eight years between you had your daughter.
Yep.
Can you remember much during that 8 years? Was there fractures in the relationship?
Yeah, it was
up and down,
trying to
make it work,
trying to like raise, trying to be a parent, and then anyone that's had kids young once, it's fucking hard.
Yeah. Well, what were you doing for work then when you came back then?
Well, when I first got back, I was coming back to renew my visa. I was only back for 3 months, and then I was going to go back and had try out for some junior A teams. Yeah. And that never happened. And once we realised we were going to have a baby, I was like, well, fuck, now it's time to put my big boy pants on, and you know, I've got to start getting some proper income. Yeah, I can't, you know, this ice hockey thing's going to have to take a back seat. And I end up getting a plumbing apprenticeship. Yep. And then end up, you know, over the course of the next 10 years, I've become a qualified plumber. Yeah.
So just stayed down in Lismore,
just stayed there,
plumbing, dad alive. 8 years later, you have your daughter. Planned.
Yeah, that was probably more planned. We're in a much better position together and whatnot.
So you're about 26 then, I guess.
I think I was something like that. 27 or something like
that. How do you tell mum and dad they're excited for second grandchild?
Yeah, I think it was because we're more established.
Yeah, so adults then,
we got, you know how to parent. You live in your own space. Yeah. And it was a much different vibe, I guess you could say. Like having them when you're older.
So your daughter's born, and I mean you guys have been parents now for 8 years. It's not your first rodeo. Does the second child add more stress on the family dynamic? I mean, obviously it does because there's another child to look after. But does it put more stress on the relationship?
So it wasn't. I guess it wasn't having another child. Like if my daughter ever watches this, she's gonna be like, "Fuck you, Dad," because my daughter, who's she's the best ever. Yeah. Like she's unreal. Like but when she didn't sleep for so long, and my ex is a nurse, so she was when she went, but we had to get back to work. She had to, like it's expensive having kids.
Yeah.
So ain't cheap. Yeah, so you had to get back to work. So I was and at that time, so my boss that was when I was plumbing, he shut the company down, just randomly shut the company down, went bankrupt. So but that I was already fighting at that time. I'd had a few professional fights already. Had sponsorships and stuff, so it was all right. And then a company in Brisbane, it was owned by a guy from Lismore, and he wanted to start a supplements company.
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, you'll manage the storefront of it." So I was all good, and he was happy to work around my MMA training, so I still trained morning and night.
Yep.
But yeah, so I was still, and my ex was a nurse, right? So she was on night shift. And my daughter didn't like sleeping.
Oh, true.
And it was hard, bro. I think it's just 3 night shifts, and then you got 3 nights where you barely sleep. So what I was doing, I was like, I'd start PTing and stuff as well to try and get some extra money in, and it was hard, bro. Not sleeping. And anyone who's dealt with lack of sleep, it sends you loopy.
Don't they say if your first child was good, as in, sleep patterning, so your second one's going to be nightmare, and vice versa. If your first one's a nightmare, the second one's going to be...
Yeah, I believe it. And now then it did a
vice versa again?
Then it flipped when they got a bit older, and my son went a bit rogue for a bit. He's good. He's good now. He's went a bit rogue, just a teenage boy, living in a small country, like a small beachy town, and just got into the wrong crowd.
We'll tap into the fighting world. So how'd you get into that?
So I had a car accident when I was about 21 or 22, I think it was.
Yep.
A real bad one.
Yep.
Had a head-on collision. Unfortunately, I almost died, and unfortunately, the man in another car did pass away. I guess for me, I was like, in my head, I was like, I survived. I don't want to survive, I guess you say, in vain. Survive in vain. Like I have to do something. I've played sport my whole life, and now I'm being a plumber.
Yeah, life's short. I
hate plumbing. Life's short. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something better, and funny enough, when I was living in Canada, the first Ultimate Fighter ever had just come out on Spike TV. So that was in 2004, 2005, I think it was. And me and all the boys loved it. We'd watch every episode of Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. Anyways, one of my friends from school was training Muay Thai
down in Lismore.
Lismore,
Muay Thai gym, yeah.
So I just went inside I thought, I'm going to do this. This is something good for me, because I was kind of I went on a bit of a dark depression, a bit of a spiraled out of control a little bit in the 2 years after that car accident.
Yep.
And so then I was like, I need to do something like positive, something productive. Like I'm not setting a good example. This is not who I am as a person. So I just went and did it as just something to do.
Cardio pastime.
Yeah, just to get some stress. I found it was just good for while you're training, and another reason why with Fighting Fathers, because when I started, it was like every time I would go through rough patches and that, I would have my current partner now, and then the Miles who owns the gym would be like, "Come on, I'm gonna hold pads for you, get in the gym." And the positive effects it had just going in, and you know yourself, I'm like, I hold pads for you, like Shawnee holds pads for you. If you're feeling a bit rough, you go in and smash the pads, you almost forget.
Yeah.
For that period of time, you're so clear-headed because you can only focus on what you got to do, the techniques, and how fucking tired you are. Yeah. So you get so tired, you can't think of anything else. So that's kind of what got me into that, and that's leads into Fighting Fathers as well. But anyways, that's got me to that, and then I just got hooked on it. I was like, fuck, this is amazing.
Was the MMA gym back then in Lismore? No, so just Muay Thai, and then...
So there was... Back then this is going back... what would it have to be? Like, this had to be 16 years ago.
Because I don't know much about MMA, but what year did Australia start bringing it in and sort of become noticed?
I had my first fight in April of 2011.
Yeah, okay. And was it frowned upon back then, MMA?
No, it just wasn't mainstream like it is now. Yeah, like we would have to hustle. Like it wasn't on like my fights now are on UFC Fight Pass and things like that.
Back then, it was,
you buy your tickets online and they put a code in, you get your ticket sales cut. Back when I was doing it, I would be in a sauna suit the day of weigh-ins, driving around my car with the heater turned up as loud as you could, go into people's work sites and their houses to collect money and give them their paper tickets and shit.
Oh, true.
I mean, so it's obviously grown exponentially now. But that was 2011 was my first fight, and I've had 21 total since then. But I guess I just got hooked on it. And then 6 months in, my coach was like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I started doing jiu-jitsu. But it never was actual MMA. It was like you just did each gym discipline, and you'd have to go different places to do it, and then you'd put it all together yourself, kind of thing. Like, that was what I did for the longest time.
And they had a jiu-jitsu gym in Lismore and all that?
So there was a jiu-jitsu gym at the same gym the Muay Thai was on. Okay, it was just another class there. And so I just kind of fell into that, and then the opportunity to fight MMA. And at that time it was like cages were just most of them were in rings or in open mats and stuff. Cages coming in, I thought, oh fuck, that'd be cool. Like that's just like Ultimate Fighter. I'm gonna try it, and had my first fight and won, and I was like, holy fuck, that's the biggest rush. Then I had my second fight and lost, and I was like, fuck, this sucks. I've got to win again, and that's just been like that my whole day. It's just hooked on. It's been up and down ever since, and now I'm 21 fights deep, and 16 years later.
Where was your first fight at? Did you have to go to Brisbane somewhere?
Nerang. It was Nerang PCYC.
Oh yeah, true.
On a show called Fight World Cup.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Mate, I don't know if you want to touch on it or not. Don't have to. The car crash. How did that affect you? Was you state of mind then?
So at the time, you think you're young and invincible. Like we spoke about before. I thought I was all good. I didn't have any issues. And then as I got older, I guess I masked the issues, the mental issues. Band-Aid fix it probably with your mates and you drinking and partying and stuff. You can kind of hide it with training and stuff. And as I got older, when life slows down, and then I started to notice the effects of it. And that's when I got diagnosed with PTSD from it, and had some issues, I struggle with, now as I'm older, I struggle a lot more with it. Have a lot of issues with sleep. I got injuries from it, which are lifelong injuries from it, which kind of, I wouldn't say they hold me back, because I had what I think is somewhat successful fighting career.
How old was the other gentleman?
He was 70.
70.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked that is because, and I say this to some of the nurses at work where I work, because when I was young, I was deploying overseas. I was 21, 22, 23, 24, and there was this one time. Long story short, a father stood on ID, a local civilian. And he stood on ID and he got frayed, him and his daughter, and they got frayed bad, and they just outside the FOB, and we under the Geneva Convention, people don't hear about this, but we have to treat them. So and we treated them, and we got them on a Black Hawk and sent them in the TK. But she was bleeding profusely, but she died by the time she got to TK. But that never affected me, not because I didn't care. I wasn't a father. And then later on in life, when I became a father, I was working the other day. I won't go into the deal because I'll respect the patient privacy, but there was a young toddler that passed away, and it triggered the Afghan thing, bro, because I'm a father now, and those stuff that happened when I was younger didn't bother me. Now that I'm a father, I'm thinking, I'd say a lot of nurses, because a lot of them nurses, man, they're working, sometimes they have to pull a dead body out of the, full full term, for whatever reason, and I'm just thinking, fuck, and I just think, they're like, oh, it's okay, I don't let it get to me, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe when you get a little bit older, it might play a part,
Well, funny that you should say that, because when I finally accepted the fact that there was something more going on inside my head, that it wasn't just what was going on in my head wasn't normal. So I was like, I had to reach out, and I was like, after my car accident, there was psychologists provided, things like that. They come to the house. I was quite I had my whole face. I've got titanium plates rebuilding half my face. I cracked my sternum in half and broke heaps of ribs. And
what hospital did they take you to?
Lismore Base Hospital. So I almost lost my eye. Things like that. And I guess while I was recovering, and I was, you're dosed up on so many heavy painkillers, in and out of sleep all day. They sent a psychologist to my house. But that time I was like, I'm all good. I don't need the help. Blah, blah. Anyways, when I got older and started noticing in my head that things weren't right, I reached out to a psychologist. And when I spoke to him on the phone, I was telling him how I felt, what was going on. And he, funnily enough, was like, so you're in your 30s? And funnily enough, I was in my 30s. And he basically said, like, when life slows down, you know, you got kids, mortgage, bills, you don't have as many vices or things to band-aid. So you have to face the man in the mirror, essentially. And that's when I started to notice, you know, would be more triggered by certain things.
Right?
Yeah, and then that's when I started to, and then that was when I guess I realised, oh, PTSD is a real thing. Because, you know, in my head I was like, I'll be right.
Yep. And
then obviously it was, you know, I struggled with sleep. Struggled with, like, you know, a little bit of some addiction issues, and, you know, partying. I thought I was doing it just to be with the boys and have fun, and, you know, then you look back at it now and go, they were definitely band-aid fixes. They were just trying. I was just trying to suppress the pain. Yeah, just trying to suppress everything down. And then what happened was, you suppress it like anything. You know, they talk about putting Skittles in a Coke bottle and all that. You know, the analogies like that.
Yeah.
Just suppressing it down.
Yep.
And then it just erupted. Yeah, and then. I said, like, I need to sort this out. This is not the person I'll be proud to be. So I had to sort it out. And then all these things, not like I shouldn't say little, all these events and things that happen is, I guess, what ultimately led me to fighting fathers. Because when I was going to the psychologist and that, I didn't get too much out of it. I guess it was maybe sitting
in the box for you to try and think,
I think maybe it was sitting in a professional environment. There's a guy in a suit across the table from me, and I went to a few different ones, and I didn't really
connect with any
of them, I guess. And then I'd always say, well, it's like a relationship, you know, you got to find the right fit for you. And I was like, fuck, I just keep none of them just feel the right fit. And I guess for me, it was the professional setting of talking to someone that's sitting there in a suit, giving you these coping strategies, or whatever you want to call them, different strategies to deal with these issues, like anger issues and PTSD, and then my sleep issues. And, you know, he's saying things like, you know, when you get angry, you just got to take a deep breath and go for a walk and count to 10. I'm like, fuck it. I don't have time to count to 10. I'm fucking already angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is shit. Like, so that led me down, you know, with fighting fathers to understand that psychologists aren't for everyone. You know, like sometimes talking to other people that have been involved in similar scenarios, or they've dealt with the same issues, they can share their story, and you can relate to certain parts of it, or you can see positives and negatives in it. And I found I got more benefit from that than I did from speaking to an actual psychologist. You know, even speaking to a performance coach for fighting.
Yep.
I got way more out of speaking to a performance coach, how to deal with emotions and understandings that you can't stop emotions. By trying to stop them, you suppress them. Just accept emotions are emotions, call a spade a spade. Let the emotion go by, the emotions will come and go. It's when you hold on to them that they start, you know, then you boil them up and then you're thinking about it and that. So I found that was, I got a lot more benefit out of that, you know, that's what kind of all these little things led me to doing fighting fathers. So these are the things I want to help other men that are going through it, and not just dads, like even like granddads and stepdads, things like that. Like he doesn't have to necessarily be directly a father. Yeah. Just a father figure, so to speak.
Yeah. Have you done ayahuasca?
No. So people have said it to me, but because of the car accident, I have nightmares about it. So later on at first I didn't. Now I have very vivid dreams of it that wake me up, and then I don't go back to sleep. Like very, very vivid dreams. Like, you know, like you've been overseas. Well, you see some, you know, like what I seen, what I didn't remember at first, and what I remember now. I don't know whether it's my brain's making it up, whether it's an actual memory, but it's a nightmare. It's terrible.
Well, the ayahuasca, they say, cause I've done it, and they say ayahuasca chooses you. You don't choose ayahuasca, but it will help release all that trauma. Well, so you have to go through it to let it go.
That's right. So part of me, part of me is worried about I've got to relive it, and I relive it when I go close my eyes at night. What am I going to do? Pay all this money to go really relive it? Like I'm worried about what the outcome will be. And then people are like, yeah, but you'll
put it this way.
You'll process the emotions, and then you'll come at the other side better. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can deal with processing the emotions.
I'll tell you a story. So I've said it a few times. He won't mind me saying, my good mate. So we went and did ayahuasca. My partner's done it 13 times, once a month for 13 months straight. I went for my first time with her, but I had some veteran mates come with me, and they put on for us for free. These people, and but what my partner didn't know, it wasn't a stitch up, was that the guys that I'd served with, we were on the same trip, but there was obviously some heavy contacts that went down. My mate that was in the tent with me, he'd done it a few times before. When he first did ayahuasca, when he went under, he walked into this room, and one of the guys, one of our other mates that was involved in the contact, he was in the room like curled up in a ball, crying. Obviously, he's like gone under, he's taking the drink, right? He's in this trip, whatever you want to call it. And he walked in the room, he saw the Taliban dude that he killed. And my mate was just apologising to him straight away. And he's like, brother, it's okay. You gotta let it go. He goes, your father, I'm a father. One of us had to go. That's war. And he just said, but you gotta stop thinking about me every day. You gotta move on with life. But that was that way of releasing the trauma. And he's like, I'm so sorry. It's okay, bro. It's fine. I'm at peace. You just gotta. That's life, you got to move on. And I can't say how it's going to treat everybody, but that was the way. But when I did it, my mate was next to me, and another guy that was driving a Aslav, he was waiting for Bendel to grab all the dead Taliban and throw them on the back of the Aslav. And my mate that was in the tent was driving the Aslav, so my partner didn't know. It wasn't set up, but obviously there was a lot of negative energy from the same Afghan deployment. And my poor partner, like, she'd done it 13 times before she did it with me, and she said that 14th time was the worst one. And I remember coming to, and I looked to my left, because I actually saw my daughter when I went under. I saw my daughter, we were laughing, I was singing a song. And when I've come to, like, my mate was purging to my right, and then I looked at my partner, she's like, like everyone's purging, but I just had this lovely time. I don't think I'd released my trauma, because I set my attention so much on my daughter when I went under. I just wanted to see my daughter. Yeah, I was too focused.
One track mind on that.
But it was a great experience. Yeah. But yeah, bro. So sorry, man. Yeah. So there was that tragic car accident.
So that like out of respect for
of course
for his family, I went through, had to go. It was like I think it was quite a long legal thing, because it starts off that police prosecutors they want convictions,
charges on.
So they was trying to get dangerous driving causing death. There was no evidence of it. Like, the witnesses around me wasn't speeding, wasn't under influence. It was a Wednesday afternoon. I just finished doing the drainage, under slab plumbing. It was just an accident. So I ended up getting charged with negligent driving, occasioning death, and due to a momentary lapse of concentration. I don't remember too much of that part. I believe I fell asleep, but I can't give a definite answer, because I don't know. Obviously, I was knocked out. Half my face was caved in. My face X-rays are pretty wild, because there's this titanium plates and screws everywhere. But I think that whole incident has played as it would, goes without saying, played a major role in my mental health. Yeah, of course. And a lot of other things, like my reactivity. I guess it just changed. In a way, I guess it just changed who I was as a person. And not dealing with it, obviously suppressing it, has its own negative side, like mostly negative. So that was just that was a big thing that I still. The older I get, the more it affects me. Yeah. Put it that way, like that. Yeah. Some of the things that I have to do now that help me cope with the car accident were thrown in my face in court as well, right?
Yeah. All right, man. So sorry. Where were we before that? So you had your daughter 8 years later.
Yep.
She's born. You're dabbling in the MMA world. You're still living in Lismore.
Yep.
And then your daughter was how old when the relationship started to sort of...
About 6 months, I think.
About 6 months
old, yeah.
Yeah,
and then...
let's try to tap into this chapter now.
So it was just, like I said, we were young. Like, I guess we're older then, but we'd already been together and had a kid young. So we already had all those fractures and things that had happened. And I think, you know what they say, like, you know, once there's a fractures, like you can fix a broken mirror, but you're still gonna see the cracks, right?
Yeah.
I think that goes, you know, that
perfect saying.
That's a perfect saying for the situation. And I have nothing negative to say towards my ex. Like, she's an amazing person, great mother. You know, like it just didn't work. Yeah, it just wasn't gonna work.
Fizzled out.
Like, you know, like I said, we were together since we were in year 8.
Yeah.
You grew up together. Like, I think it's just, you know, like, it just wasn't gonna. There was just so many obstacles, I guess, and that we put in our own way. I'm not even saying anyone else. No one else played a role. We did it to ourselves. You know, I'm not scared to admit that, and probably more my side than anything. I was young, full testosterone, fight. Thought I was fucking man, like, just a bit of an idiot. Like, and when I talk about this stuff to people, whatever, I never ever hide the fact that I'm not here to blame anyone else for what happened at all. Like, I just tell my side of the story, right? And I take ownership of the things I've done. Not proud of some of the things I've done, but I'm human. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and my goal with Fighting Fathers is to hopefully share my story, the mistakes I made, that other people can learn from that. Because you know, the mistakes have been made. You can't turn back time. It's already been done. Yeah. Maybe someone will hear it and be like, well, I'm not gonna do ABC. Yeah. Because Brentin did ABC, and look how it ended up. Yeah. That's the goal is. So I never ever try to make excuses for things I've done. I own it, accept it. It is what it is. You know, all I can do is do better in the future, and which is what I've done. Which is, you know, like I believe that all the things that have happened, you know, it sucks. I don't think I wouldn't say I would change them, because if I changed any of it, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be.
Maybe your daughter wouldn't be born.
There'd be a lot of things that maybe didn't happen. I wouldn't end up on the Gold Coast, have an amazing partner I have now, own a house. Yeah. You know, maybe I'll be stuck in Lismore and in this vicious cycle of bullshit, plumbing, and never getting out. You know, so I would never change any of it.
Yeah. How do you? So what year is it? Your daughter's 6 months old. What year? So your son's eight and a half now.
He's about 8.5. Yeah.
Do you move out? Does someone move out?
Yeah, I moved back in with my parents.
Yep. She stays at your guys' place.
No, yeah, she stays at that house we were renting together. Yep. At the time too, I was like heavily competing in MMA. Yeah. So I was training in Thailand lots, because, like we talked about before with MMA, it was still quite new. There wasn't MMA gyms, so to speak. It was Muay Thai gyms, boxing gyms, and then they had jiu-jitsu, and you kind of had to get your stuff and put it together yourself. So I was going to Tiger Muay Thai and doing my camps there, and I went over there and tried out for the team for a 12-month scholarship and things like that. So my parents were like, look, we want you to, and they had quite a big house in Lismore, and they said, look, while you're doing this, we want you to live here, because then when you have the kids, if you're away, then we can still have the kids on your weekends. Yep. On every second weekend, so that then they would have my son and daughter then. So it worked quite well. So obviously my parents have fully backed me with sport my whole life, so they weren't going to stop. You know, as I got older, right? Of course. So I can't. I'm hopeless with dates. Probably got brain damage, but from being kicked in the head too many times. But I can't remember how many fights I had by then, but I think I was like, it might have been 6 wins, 1 loss. Yep. I'd gone down to the Ultimate Fighter and tried out. You know, had some issues with my eyesight then, and they said, look, you're too much of a insurance risk. You've got an eye disease. If something happens to your eye and you go blind, we're not going to take the risk. So I was like, what I'm getting is I was like, fighting was my life then, and it still is, right? Yeah. So my parents were like, oh, you know, move back in here. That way you can still do your training trips. You can still drive, because I was driving to Brisbane. I was doing about 1,200 Ks a week. So I was driving from Lismore to Southside in Brisbane, then back to Byron Bay to train at night, and then I'd go back to Lismore. And then at this time, I just started a 24-hour gym. Not MMA or anything, just lifting. Yeah. So I still had a business and stuff going in Lismore, so I couldn't really just move away.
Yep.
But I was just fully invested in fighting, and my parents were backing me all the way, like they always have. So I moved in with them,
yep.
and then I got to still travel and fight and whatnot. So
yeah. That Byron Bay, Dan, I work for him at the hospital now, the Brazilian.
Oh yeah, Daniel Almeida. So he was probably my third jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah.
He gave me a lot of my promotions.
Okay.
Right up to brown belt. He gave me.
He said, I remember him talking about the Byron Bay gym. I think that's where he met you.
Yeah, it was called back in the day. It was called Extreme Mixed Martial Arts back in the day.
I think when he first moved here, that's where he went first straight to Byron.
Yeah,
he looks like Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Yeah. He just had his hip.
He's got. Yeah, I've seen that. But yeah, Daniel's a good dude. He helped me with a lot of fighting stuff. So you still see like. You still been able to have access to your daughter then? Oh, that was my. I get my. Now when she was younger, it was like every second weekend.
Yep.
But now she's older. She got a little girlfriends and they have sleepovers and stuff like that. So my thing was, I don't ever want to make her feel like she's obligated to have to come to my house because it's my weekend, so to speak. I don't believe that. Like now she's older, I let her. I got her an iPad. She can FaceTime me whenever she wants. I just let her choose.
Yep.
And if she says to me, Dad, I want to come stay this weekend, I'll just drive down and get her and drive back. Or my partner will drive down and get her and drive back. But I never wanted to put it I never wanted to make it like this is what you have to do. Because I remember at school, we'd like organising with the boys, like, we're going to go to the skate park or whatever we're going to do. Yeah. And 6 of us going to have sleepovers. Then one would be like, I've got to go to my fucking dad's house, And it'd be like depressing. I didn't want it to. I didn't want that. So, and we have the best relationship. Like we have FaceTime all the time.
Yeah.
And, she probably has me wrapped around a little finger a bit, gets everything she wants. So probably a bit spoiled. But and then my son, when he was about 15, he was just being a rat bag teenager really. My ex, his mum just couldn't. She's had enough. It's killing her.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad had her and her partner had a little girl. My young bloke was just doing some shit he shouldn't do.
Yep.
He was just carrying on, and
as we all do at that age.
Yeah. So then she's like, I can't. He's just this is too hard. I said, sweet. Well, he can come live with me. So same thing. Like, it's a terrible thing that happened, but the silver lining is me and my son built an amazing relationship. We had our ups and downs. Like when he was and then but he lived with me full time. We had ups and downs. He went to school in Palm Beach. That was after I moved up here.
Palmy Army, is what they call it? Palmy Army.
PBC, whatever it was. But he was just wagging school.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, you have to get a job, bro. Like, it's like school's not for you. Like, he's just scamming, telling the school that
you're sick.
He just because I'd have to go to work in the morning, and he'd have to get ready for school and catch the bus, and then some days I come home at like 11 o'clock after I'm on morning clients, and he's just laying in bed still. I was like, mate, you got to go to fuck. So then the school was like, not a good parent, because I'm I said, what do you mean? I said, he's 16, like, and then he would tell them, Dad doesn't give me any food, and like me and him laugh about it now, like, fuck, what do you do? But at the time I was sponsored by a meal prep company called TikTok Nutrition. Our fridge was full of food. He wasn't missing out on food. He just didn't want the food that was in the fridge, and he didn't want to prepare his food. So he would go to the tuck shop, and they must have some kind of program at PBC where disadvantaged kids could get like a $10 voucher. Well, he would go and try and act like he's disadvantaged, and I was like, mate, I work my ass off. We're not we live on Tullabudgera Creek. We ain't disadvantaged, bro. Like you can't be doing that. Anyways, he cracked the shits, and hopefully no one takes this out of fucking context.
No, of course not.
So, I guess it's social services. They just called me one time. I was at Robina. I remember it clear as day. They tell me, basically saying that we need to have a meeting, and I'm not feeding my son. I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I'm like, and then they threatened like, I can't remember exactly what they said, but I remember clear as day the phone call, because I was at Robina at the town centre. I was with my mate, and I'm like, can you fucking believe this? They're saying I don't look after him. This is the same kid.
Was it child safety or child?
Yeah, I think it was one of them, but the school had to contact him because he was saying I didn't feed him or nothing. And I was like, mate, I said, what's he like? He's full of shit. I said, he's lying. Anyway, I was like, well, I said, well, you can take him if you want, you have him. I bet I get him back in about a month.
Yeah.
Max. A week. I said, a week I'll probably get him back because you'll see what the issue is here. Anyways, me and his mum went in for a meeting at the school and whatnot. And we're like, we're gonna have to pull him out. We're gonna have to pull him. He's gonna have to. Something's got to change. Anyways, he ended up working and stuff now, and now he's doing unreal. Like now we have an amazing relationship.
Yeah.
But I just had that rough patch. The teenage boy. I was at that. Like I said before, I was stubborn and my way or the highway, and he's quite apple and tree.
Well, at what point does this mediation come up? So obviously,
the mediation. So what the stuff we've spoken about is with a different woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a different mum.
Oh, so okay. So the first two is fine. Yep. Sorry, I was expecting my bad. I was expecting the mediation to come at some point.
I don't do it. No, so with
my
her,
bad.
she was like, fuck whatever. You're an asshole.
Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't mean you're a bad father.
Yep.
And you have access to your kids because I don't want them to miss out on having a dad.
Okay. Got you. Sorry.
So we had our turbulent parts. But now we're obviously a lot more mature and older.
Okay.
Probably more me being a bit more understanding and not being so stubborn and sorting my shit out has rekindled our friendship, and like me and my partner and her partner, we'll get along just fine. Yeah, it's fine. Like we like for my son's birthday, we can all go as a whole big family to dinner and there's no drama and things like that. Like for his 18th, we had all of her. We
went together, fine.
Family and
everyone's been adults.
Yeah,
amicable.
it was like we have some funny parts, which like my daughter. So my daughter and son, like their newest daughter, couldn't understand why my daughter calls me dad, but I'm not her dad.
Yeah.
So then she would call me Daddy Brentin, and we're like, well, you can't say. But then she wouldn't stop doing it. So then we ended up just being a little bit of a joke, like. She's only a baby. She didn't understand the difference, but like me and her dad would have a bit of a laugh about it. At first, as being a father, if someone else is calling another man your dad, probably going to be a bit of a trigger. But I think he realised like she just doesn't understand. She loves her sister. Her sister calls me that on FaceTime. She gets on FaceTime with her sister talking to me. Yeah, just gets confused, right? But that's our relationship's to a point where that could be laughed at. Yeah, you know what I mean, and then. Was it's funny like I must have an 8-year I don't know if you called it curse because then 8 years later I had my son my most recent ex-partner.
Yeah, so this is where you've had drama.
This is where the drama arose. Like we
we'll start from how did you meet the second mother of your child?
So I went to school with her brothers and stuff like that. I'm not gonna I don't want to go into too much detail about her.
Yeah.
I don't. The type of people they are, I just don't want to give them ammunition to use against me. Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything, and I don't want to say anything bad either. This is your story,
bro. Your time, so whatever you feel.
I wasn't saying anything bad either because I didn't want to come on here to
mitigate
what happened in court.
Just talk about your struggles of
or
the hurdles you
talk
faced
down on her as a person. Like I don't like her or family as people. Yep. But I'm not. I don't want to come on here and badmouth them. It's not like I'm. Yeah. Maybe 2 years ago it would have been, but I think now I'm just past it. I'm looking into the future. Analogy like you don't drive a car looking in the rear view mirror. That's
unless you're an Afghan.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I look at it from here. So I don't want to talk down about anything that happened. I'll just give my version of events and the struggles I face, so that maybe people listening can be like, I don't want to make these same mistakes. I don't want to do, because the things I did, I'm not going to make excuses for the things I did. I just thought the things I was doing
were the right things.
Were the things, but they say, like when you make decisions on emotion, very rarely are they good.
No, and I'm a very impatient person.
Yes.
So when something does happen, I'm like, walk away, let the emotions settle, and come back with an answer tomorrow.
Yes, so that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. But it's taken us over 30 plus, it's 5 years, 38 years.
I was not like that.
You're born 88, eh?
87.
Oh, I'm born 88.
Yeah, so it wasn't always like that.
Yeah, I know.
Very triggered. So I would
If I want to prove a point, I want to prove it now.
Right now.
Right here, right now. Let's go.
And so that was the issue, right? Yeah. So if I wanted to, say like I'll get a text message and I'm like, fuck, I'm fired up. So I'm like, I'll just ring. Yeah,
so
I'll call like
I don't. Yeah.
and then I call like 5 times, like fucking answer. Like you're gonna say this shit about me, then you're not gonna answer the phone. You know, and they're the things that got me in shit at the end of the day. They're the things that fucking have landed me in a position where I spent tons of money and now I don't have access to my son. All this same little thing because I was acting on emotion instead of logic.
Yeah.
And rationale. I was just
uncharted waters. We haven't been there before.
Right? So and then that's why all these things, like I was saying before, have led me to want to start fighting fathers. Well, that's what led me to start it. You know, to maybe take it. You know, like I said before, the psychologists say, count to 10 when you're angry. I couldn't do it when I was younger.
110.
110, yes. And so what I found is that by going and say it, like I always go to the gym and hit the bag or something.
Yeah.
And then, I'll go and hit pads or I'll go and train or go and do something. And then once you burn that, I guess you call it anxious, angry energy, whatever you want to call it, your decision-making skills are fucking way clearer through the roof.
You know what Joe Rogan says? He goes, man, you want to clear your head? This is target at males. He goes, man, just go have a wank. He said, just go have a wank.
Well, say you don't
come
make
back and you'll have
don't make good decisions.
Just have a wank, come back, boom, clear head. Yeah, he's right. But yeah.
So my version of that was going and smashing the punching bag. So yeah, I'd go and I just made better decisions that way and stuff. And like, yeah. So then I had my son. It was just a super, super toxic relationship. It was toxic from the get go. I was retarded to think anything was ever going to be a positive outcome ever.
How long were you together before she was pregnant?
I think it was like 6 years or something, maybe.
So you were together for quite some time.
We were together a long time. But it was such a...
It was up and down.
Fuck, it was so toxic. Like
It was a pregnancy plan?
I'd be like, nah. So I don't know how much to touch on that part of it. But
yeah, no, you're right. I'll ask you questions. If you can touch on it, you can touch on it.
So the pregnancy wasn't planned. I guess the pregnancy wasn't planned. When we found out, I guess we were happy because we thought, I thought maybe this is what kids don't fix. You hear it all the time. Kids do not fix relationships.
Yeah.
I guess I was just dumb to maybe, or just
but sometimes we think
naive to think that this might be what we need to build a stronger bond, and it just wasn't it. Like while she was pregnant, that was when COVID was all through COVID and things like that.
Yeah. COVID.
And and I had the gym.
So you're still down Lismore?
I'm still down Lismore, yeah. So I had the gym, 24-hour gym. They shut my gym down. We spent all of our money. I pulled all my super out to pay because they gave us a 50% rent relief. So I pulled all my super out. Me and my business partner, we just fucking tried to keep our heads above water when it all happened. That had its stress on, there's stress in there. Everyone dealt with that. So then I had the same kind, that stress I was dealing with. Like I said, not make excuses. There was this other contributing factors to,
of course,
to thinking maybe things would get better or worse or whatever. And so then I guess I can't speak for her on what she thought having a baby would do.
Yeah. I
thought, this could be. After I'm trying to work out how to.
No, you take your time. Take your time.
So when I found out, I guess we thought that maybe this would be a blessing, that we could make it work. While she was pregnant, like fuck, it was like this is not working.
Yeah.
So then I was like, made the call of like this is not working, and I was traveling over the border almost every day to train at CMBT, sanding the line, doing the passport things across. Got vaccinated, which I want to do. Got all that shit done. Crossing the border, and I was like, fuck it, look, I'm in Lismore, like the gym's fucked, like we're struggling. I'm gonna just give my dividend to and take myself off as a director. I'm just gonna go to the coast and train, because I actually at the time I was training for a title fight for an eternal lightweight title. So I was like, I'm just this is what I've done my whole life. No, not my whole life. This is what I've done for a lot of years. I just need to go invest in it because. You live once. I've got to. If I don't throw everything at it, I'm fighting for a title. I have a decent record. I'm not at that point. I wasn't too old, and I just come across the border, and my mates gave me a place to stay so I could live up here and train. And then, I started kind of coaching up here and that, because up in Queensland, you weren't shut down.
Yeah.
Nowhere near
as bad as
nowhere near as bad. I think all up we did 8 months shut down or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of when the breakdown started, was when she was pregnant.
Okay.
And so then obviously I was getting called every now and then, what a piece of shit leaving someone that's pregnant. But I was like, fuck, this is so toxic. This isn't
kind of been down that road already.
I've already been down it. I didn't think it was ever. I just felt it was never going to work.
Yeah.
Even after she gave birth, I went down for the birth and stuff. That was a
Lismore.
In Lismore. Yeah, anyone that's gone through that, there was you get this. That gave me hope that it could work and stuff. Then it was wasn't long after that. It was just the same. It was just same toxic stuff. It just we are two people, which maybe are two alike, maybe. So both stubborn. Both were
fighting fire with fire.
Yeah. So I just think it was never going to work, and I think bringing a child into it was a terrible.
At the time, you thought this could save us, but
yeah. And there's other circumstances I won't go into that the people that know me personally know. I'm not. I don't feel like I could share it with everyone.
No, that's fine.
I'm not withholding.
Nah, trust me, I know.
Good or bad things. There's just some personal stuff between me and her that I wouldn't want to share, because I don't like her as a person, but I'm not going to disrespect her as a person. Yeah. We're just different people, and then we had some stuff going. We had a child, did not help anything, as it never does. Relationship broke down.
So, I'll just ask questions. If you can answer me, answer. If not, we'll just move on. So, son, right? Your youngest son.
Yep.
At what point does? Okay, shit. I might need to call a lawyer or mediator, or how does that ball start?
Yeah. So, I instigated mediation.
Because how old was your son at the time when you started seeking mediation?
He would have been maybe one, I guess.
Yep.
Maybe one or something like that. So I was still getting to spend time with him. Obviously, I would be with my ex at the time too. I think we were both trying to maybe not make it work for us, but we were for him.
The young fella.
Yeah, I think we were aware that maybe that this was not going to be something that was ever going to rekindle, or I guess we went back and forth, and I guess tried a few times, and it would never get better. It was always a couple of good, with a lot of
one
bad.
step forward, 3 step back.
Yeah. So so it was just, I don't think it was ever going to work. So then I was seeing my son pretty much when I wanted to, but the terms of seeing him meant I had to be with her to see him,
on her terms.
On her terms, I had to be at her house, or she'd have to drive to my house to have him, and then we'd be together and that. And I guess at the time that was cool. I get to spend time with him, and me and her were doing should we rekindle? Should we?
Revolving door.
Yeah. So then, when I wanted to have him overnight, just once a fortnight. So I reached out to just to a lawyer, just a family lawyer, and said, hey, this is what I want to do, blah blah blah. And they sent, I think they.
No, it's all right, bro.
Some of it's a bit of a blur, because at the stage,
you've
been through it's fucking some. It just it's so much happens at once. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So then, they sent her a letter or something like that, or the lawyer sent her a letter to say that I wanted to have him one night a fortnight.
And they got her back on a.
Yeah,
they got her back up straight away.
I just had a knee reconstruction, so I remember I was at home. I was painkillers. I was all a bit airy fairy. I get a phone call from her, and my partner now, we were good friends through this whole. She supported me for this whole thing as my friend before we were together, and she had it on loudspeaker. She's like, "You're trying to take my fucking son off me?" And I was like, "Whoa, I'm not trying to take him off you full time. I just want one night a fortnight. That's all I want, kind of thing." So, anyways, I went from having contact with him to no contact. So then I was like, "Well, now, we couldn't resolve it with lawyers." Then obviously she went and got a lawyer and whatnot. I think they went back and forwards, and that's when the finances started to be like, holy fuck, this is going to be an expensive run, because every time they'd send a letter or something, I think it's like $700 or something for a letter. And then sometimes the letter would be like, please refer to previous email. I'm like, fucking don't send those letters. That's $700. Don't send that letter. Like, I can't afford to keep paying for this. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to have him for the overnight stay, just to build a better relationship. And
yeah, of course.
And it's not like I already had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And my son was living with me full time. So it's not like I was going to be like a bad parent or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I know what she thought would be the issue with me having him on my own. And then, she was just like, you're trying to take my son. Why would you do this to me? Like crying and whatnot. And I was like, that's not the case at all. Like, I'm not trying to at all. I just want to build a relationship with him. And I found that even, if me and her weren't going to sort things out, I had to build a relationship with him, just me and him. Now, when we'd be all together, being that he's a baby, his mum's there all the time. So anytime he get upset or he wanted something, if she was there, he'd obviously gravitate to her, being that's his safe space.
Yeah, of course.
So I never really I felt like I wasn't really getting to build a bond as his dad and things like that. So I thought, that was me. I was like, it's probably time to, have to seek mediation and try to come to it. Anyways, that's when I started to try to see how crazy the whole system is. Because in order for me to go to get time with him, then we're like, well, now we have to have mediation, because you can't go to court and get a court order without mediation. Right? Obviously, you know that from the same shit. So then I reached out to a mediator, got that all sorted.
Then they have to contact her.
Yes. So then same thing. She's like,
refusing.
Just refused. Yeah, just was like, no. Nah. Basically, it was this. We didn't want to come to the party with it. Anyways, we ended up agreeing. Like, mind you, so I was taking my son to swimming lessons. He was, I would drive him to swim lessons on my own. I'd drive down from the coast, take him. We'd spend the day together and things like that. Never any issue with me having him at that time. As soon as I
you're right.
As soon as I instigated all this stuff, it was like I just fucking lit a fire.
Yeah.
Because then it was like
poke
the bear. Yeah, I was fucking. Then it was like there's just come at, like, they basically. I felt like it was just come after me, like, you're not having him. He's trying to steal my son. Blah blah blah. Like I was saying before. Which obviously not the case. I would never take him away from his mum. I just wanted to try and build a relationship.
1 night a week,
one night a fortnight. Yeah. So I did the whole mediation thing, and then I just feel like I've spoke to a lawyer before I come in, just to. There's some things, I just don't want to put my.
That's fine, man.
Put myself in hot water with certain things. Like, obviously I want to tell my story.
Let's just talk about the hurdles you face without going into detail. So I actually need to do mediation because there's a list of exemptions that bypass it. One's DV, so you just automatically go to things. I actually never did mediation, so for me, I don't know what's involved. I have had guests on that.
Yeah.
Too.
So with
like for fathers that might be in your shoes now, maybe going, shit, I'm about to contact a mediator.
So that was another reason why I wanted to come on. I'm not on a bag mediation, so to speak. I just don't think I don't think it helps.
I haven't had a good thing.
Like we did a call and just did it over Zoom, and I just felt like I was straight away I already knew I was not going to get anything good from it, from the way that I was. I went for a meeting with the mediator before. A face-to-face meeting, and that was not the person that was on the Zoom call.
Oh,
that was not the same person.
Well, for the people watching at home, how does mediation work? So they obviously contact you, you contact them, then they got to contact your ex, the other party.
So I
talk to them first.
First, you go in. First, I went in and had a sit down with the mediator to
tell the scenario,
talk about what's happening. I think then they contact her. Then you have to organise sit down, and obviously at that point, his relationship, you could call it, was so fractured and toxic that there was no way we are going to get both in the same room. Yeah. So we did it over Zoom.
Which I hear that a lot.
And I just feel like I was just never going to get from the second we started talking, and then we're both on a Zoom call, and then we weren't agreeing on the first topic we didn't agree on. She's like, I need to separate you guys. And then she'd just come back and forth between us on the Zoom call.
And I say this, that's like just sending an email, right? Like if I go to mediation, I'll either be in the one room, all right, we're not on good terms, but hey, what do you want? What do you want? I've had people go, oh, well, I'll just sit in one room and she had to sit in another room and the media just walk back and forth. I said, well, that's like just sending an email or text messages back and forth. And at the end of the day, they got nowhere.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Then they went back and forth in a Zoom call. And then
still had to pay.
And then she's...
0 results, you still pay.
Yeah, she's not accepting that. She's not accepting that. She's not accepting that. Basically, nothing was accepted. The final agreement was 3 hours supervised once a week. So I went from full days.
Yep.
You know, like whenever I could get down there between work and, you know, then to 3 hours supervised. You know, and then I've got, I don't know, this might get me in trouble, I don't know, but I've got, so when I had the car accident, I found I had PTSD.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. So then I went to the doctor and they prescribed me with medical marijuana to sleep.
Yep.
That was never an issue. Until we started going to mediation.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I'm a drug addict and this and that.
Yeah, man.
So then part of the terms were, so I'll tell you the terms, so if anyone's going to go through it, they'll see kind of the structure which I went through. Not sure how that all goes, but there were like 6-week blocks. First 6 weeks was 3 hours supervised. The next 6 weeks, I believe it was 4 hours
you build up
supervised. The following 6 weeks was going to be 3 hours unsupervised. Now the deal was,
I don't know where this is going.
The last 6 weeks, I had to do hair follicle testing, and I'm like, well, I'm going to fail it. I already know it, but it's all on my cost.
Yep.
Like I had to bear the burden of
$800 or something.
Yeah, and then they wanted it to be clear front. I'm like, well, it's not going to be clear because I know that I know I've got the prescription. I know that I have to have this medical marijuana.
Well, the prescription should default it. Really.
No, well, it didn't for me. It's the same as I guess when you get caught driving. You're not going to. The prescription won't stop if you get in trouble, but it may help you in court if you were to say, "Hey, look, this is my story," with how serious it is.
I'll pause you there real quick. I take weed gummies, and they are fucking fantastic. Pharmaceutical
same
through the doctor. I get these. They're good. There's a full chart. They give you a menu this day, not night, these strands. And, I get these green cube ones, 10, 10, 10. So 10 THC, 10 CBD, 10 CBN. Honestly, I wish I got them on through my partner. They actually my doctor tried to give them to me when I was going through family court. And I said, oh, mate, I would, but it's just another thing they're going to use against me.
Yeah, they do.
Mate, but I take them now. And honestly, they are I wake up feeling refreshed. I'm laughing like it's things. So I rate them. But I was going to go back to the mines recently, and I had to do my cold bore medical, and I had to do a piss test, sweet, and I just declared it. You can't use it against me. I've got a prescription for condition, and they just said, I'm going to test positive for THC. I'll take this week. I said, okay, what do you use it for? I said, I'll just use it when I need to go to sleep. I don't use it every night, but I might use it once or twice a week if I've had a big day and need to sleep. I'm like, okay, no worries. So you can't. It's a discrimination against a medical condition if you're trying to stop me from going. But sorry, back to you.
Yeah, so that's a similar thing. Like I just use it to sleep because, like I was saying before earlier, I started getting night terrors from my car accident. And that so it was helping me. And I didn't want to go down I didn't want to start taking Valium and all these sleeping tablets and shit. I already had I've got I got 2 fractured bones in my back, so I already had to take painkillers a lot. And already had a little bit of an issue with painkillers already, so I kind of didn't want to go down that path again. So I thought, and my dad's a big smoker, so but when I was younger, he said, if you want to smoke, sweet, smoke, but we'll never do another thing for sport for you. That's it. If you smoke, when I was younger, So in my head, weed was a big no-no anyway, so I never tried it until I went through all this PTSD. So it was I never even smoked it or nothing. So I was like, I related it. I attached smoking weed to laziness and sitting around, and I just had a view of it. I had a different view of it than I guess what it is now to me.
Yeah.
So then, that's come up like, oh, well, you can't have him on his own because he can't drive because he'll be under the influence of marijuana. I'm like, well, it's either I either don't sleep and I'm tired and probably more of a danger, or I get I have this medical marijuana and I sleep and it's all good. So that was one of the issues. Then once at the end of the 2 6-week blocks, that's when it was going to be just unsupervised. I already had an inkling that it was never going to,
Yeah.
this was never going to get to that point. It was
fruition.
never going to come to fruition. I was always going to be a challenge. And sure enough, that's when that's when all the shit really started happening. That's you know, they had the if anyone knows Lismore, they had that big flood in 2022.
Yep.
My parents lost their house in the flood.
Oh fuck.
I'd already moved up here before the flood. My address was at my parents' house still, I believe. My parents had bought a house in Hervey Bay before the flood as well. So
Hervey Bay's Maryborough.
Yes,
yeah.
So they live right near Maryborough.
Yeah.
They'd already moved and they had like a bridging loan. And so they'd already bought a house in Hervey Bay. My dad already moved there.
Before they sold the old one.
Before they sold the other one. And then on the Sunday night is when the flood happened, and the house was supposed to go a sale on the Thursday. So anyways, the sale didn't go through. The house was inhabitable. You couldn't live in it. The house was fucked. Anyway, so I didn't know at the time, but I'd been hit with DVO, and I didn't actually know about it.
No, because they couldn't get the address.
Well, because they were the only form of contact they were doing, I guess, were letters. Because I didn't get any emails. And to put in perspective, my business is online. My social media is public.
Yeah, contact me.
I'm not hard to find. I work every day at CMBT. It's all in my socials, not hard to find at all.
Yeah.
So then they were obviously doing my court appearances to go and accept the terms of the DV. Had I have known, I would have went in, accepted the terms, away you go. Like what was I going to fight? Like I already wasn't seeing him anyways. Like there'd already been dramas that happened, and I wasn't seeing him anymore. So like I said, I would just accept the terms, but I didn't get an opportunity because I didn't know that these letters existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I ended up having to go. I woke up one day and there was a warrant out for my arrest. For missing
Which
all the
sounds
court dates.
bad because when I was in Victoria recently, and I had some fines there, and I didn't know because I moved back to Queensland and I changed my license up here, but the fines were getting sent to Victoria. Fines were getting sent to my old address in Victoria, and I don't know, they were building up, and then the next thing you know, I don't know how they must have contacted Queensland, but I called Victoria and like, oh, there's a warrant out for your address because, but people are like, oh shit, people think there's some sort of fucking SOG or CERT team going out knocking on doors to try and fucking arrest. It's not. There's just sounds like, oh, warrant for your arrest.
But it looks fucking terrible.
It sounds and looks terrible, right?
And then so that I woke up to this warrant on Facebook. Heaps of missed calls, messages going, hey, what's this about? And they did me dirty hard on the warrant. When I was 19, I think I was just back from Canada, me and a guy who were friends at school got into a punch up at the nightclub, and I knocked his teeth out and cut my hand open. Anyways, I had to go through. I got arrested after I was in hospital and that. My mugshot was, we'd been on the piss all day, all night with the nightclub. I looked horrendous. Anyways, they put this terrible mugshot from, I don't know how many years ago that is. It doesn't even look like me. Anyways, they put that warrant out, and then they got me next to this older dude, which looks like he hadn't slept for 6 months. so can you imagine what all the comments were like? I opened the comments they were just like, and because it said wanted for a domestic violence order, fuck, should have seen
woman basher.
The comment, he's an MMA fighter, he's Buddha basher, just fuck all this rubbish stuff.
Yeah.
They just were going hard. Anyways, he would have fled to Burleigh and things like that. I'm like, fuck, I'm in bed at my house on the Gold Coast. What do you like? I'm not fleeing anyway. I didn't even know about any of this.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I get a lawyer. One of the guys from the gym I train at, I was rang up and said, hey, this is a situation. Fuck, what am I going to do? And they're like, look, I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to go hand ourselves into Tweed Heads because obviously I need to go to New South Wales for it.
Yep.
I get there and hand myself in. They book me in. He stayed with me the whole time because I was like, just the way it went down and some of the phone calls, and I just felt real uncomfortable with how it went down. Like I got a phone call at like 7 a.m. one time from a police officer from a mobile number. Didn't say it was a police officer at the start. There was just a few real dodgy. I just didn't trust the process, and I was like, fuck, I don't know about this. So I said, oh, James, fuck, can you come? Let's go. We'll go hands in. And I said, I just have a weird feeling about this. Like, come with me. And funny enough, they tried to refuse me bail and keep me in. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I explained to the police officer at Tweed Heads. I said, this this is what's happened. Like, I didn't know these court appearances existed. I never got any, and I'm not saying the police were trying to railroad me or anything. I'm just saying I never got the court notices.
Yep.
There was just a breakdown in communication. The only form of contact was through letters, I believe, because I never got an email. I never got a phone call. Never got left a voicemail, nothing like that. So I just felt like there was more to it than I just didn't trust it. Mm-hmm. Lucky I did, because I went in and my next court date was in June or July, I think, last year or the year before. Anyways, my court date had been adjourned until, I think it was like October or something. Anyways, in Lismore, they wanted to refuse me bail because I'd missed so many court dates. That I guess that makes me a flight risk. So they wanted to lock me up until October, and I was like, "What? Like, this is a breakdown in communication. I'm not on the run." And we're showing the police. I was like, "Look, this is my public profile.
Yeah,
like I'm not hiding
stories every day.
Every day, I'm not hiding from anyone. No one. This is there's just a breakdown in communication." Anyways, I'm glad I took him with me, because then they kept me there for a few hours, and then they booked me through, and they released me on bail to do check-ins each week at Broadbeach and whatnot. But that's kind of when it started. I realized, holy fuck, this is real. Like, this whole breakdown thing, like this whole family court thing, I guess.
Yep.
I see, and I didn't understand it too much, but at that point, and then as time went by, I started to understand. I'm like, fuck, this is the challenges that people face.
Yeah.
When they deal with it,
and
when you don't understand it,
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and when you do what I was doing when I guess it was ignorance. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So I thought I was, some things I was doing wouldn't be doing the right thing. Like, I just thought I was like, I want to speak to my son. I want to speak to him now. So I'm going to call 10 times.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my intimidation charge.
But you don't know that at the time. It's uncharted waters.
It's uncharted, yeah. So,
but for fathers watching, go, oh shit.
And like I was saying, that's why I wanted to come on to share my story, not to relitigate what happened, not to say I'm innocent. But I accepted this is what I did. I did make a lot of decisions based off emotion, which landed me in hot water and landed me in the position I'm in. I'm not trying to make myself out to be better than anyone else. I just wanted to share my story, because there's other dads out there that are picking up the phone to do that.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like this, it has a much bigger... So instead of being able to FaceTime my son 3 times a week, and instead of missing one of those days for whatever reason, maybe they want to answer the phone or whatever reason, you miss that one day, I wouldn't let that lie. I'm like, no, this is the mediator allocated Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is the time I'm fucking calling.
Yeah.
I should have made a decision more on more logic and rationale to be like, you know what, if I miss this one day, I can talk to him on Friday.
Yep.
I was like, too stubborn. I'm not doing this. This is my kid. He's half mine. I'm going to talk to him when we agreed to talk to him. And then that landed me in hot water there, and then because of that, because of missing the DV hearings and stuff like that, and then obviously them saying that being on bail and stuff, I didn't get to go to family court. Mine jumped straight to criminal court.
Yeah, stuck on there for ages.
So I went straight to there, and then even that was just confusing. Like, had some legal breakdowns, I guess, communication breakdowns with my lawyer.
Yep.
Like there was this things that it just felt like what could go wrong did go wrong. And then when I finally went to court, there was this things I didn't know, things I didn't even know existed that were there, and I was like, whoa. So then, long story short,
as in on your record?
No, yeah, like on the police report.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't get access to the police report. That's another I don't want to go into details of that.
Yeah,
I've been advised not to go into details too much on certain things. That's one of them. There's just details I didn't know existed. No, I'm not saying they were true or false.
Yeah.
I just didn't know they existed.
Yeah.
So it was quite a surprise. In court, legal court, my barrister, so I ended up getting a barrister, fucking cost a fortune. $6,800 a day or something like that. So I was like I was saying, I just didn't know these things existed.
Did your lawyer know? Like, was he informed, or he should have, right? He should have done his homework.
Well, that's the part that I'm not sure about, that I can touch on, because...
Yeah, okay, I get it.
obviously you need to receive police reports. And then did we get the police reports?
Yeah.
Did he get them? Did he not get them? Did he get sent them? Did they not send them? That's up for debate, right? But I'm not here to debate it. I've accepted this is the outcome. So whatever happened.
Yep.
I seen, and there's some things on there which was like, they sounded terrible. So my barrister was like, "Hey, look, we're gonna talk to the prosecutor and try and get through it." Anyways, we got some stuff removed, but the judge was like, it was a bad time too when I was going through court. There was, I'm not sure if you remember, there was a man was going through a relationship, Zach saying like visitation rights, isn't that? And he stupidly took his own life and his kids.
Oh, yeah.
It was around in Lismore, and it was around, it was around the same time I was going through court. So I think there was just a lot of.
If you don't mind, how did he do it? Did he?
I didn't look too much into it, but I was on the news, it was on social media and things like that.
Yeah.
And being that I was going through it, it was obviously that was when you're in this sphere, you fucking seem to hear everything. And so
that's true.
You seem to hear all the bad, all the bad, never the good, all the bad. Yeah. So then. I just think it was just it was just a bad time to be, like, DVs were on the rise. Men were there were men out there doing these fucking terrible things to women. So I think it was just it was a bad time to be going through court with that. I think men were kind of getting all tarred with the same brush almost. I think the police prosecutor was happy to remove some stuff, and then other stuff, I think it was like the judge just didn't want to remove it, didn't want a part of it. Yeah. So then we basically had to plead it out. My options were, which my understanding, like I said, this is from my perspective. Yeah. I don't fully understand it, so I don't. What I say, I'm not. I don't want to say like that. I'm implying that there was anything they did wrong, or lawyers or prosecutors or judges or anything like that. It's just how I feel the situation went. They basically said, "Hey, look, if you fight this, and judging by what we've been seeing in court today with other people,
they set the tempo.
Yeah, there's going to set the mood. Yeah, and it's like and when you go in to criminal court for DV, they don't have anything else on that day. It's all DVs in that room. So you're hearing all these fucking terrible things, like actual terrible things happen to these women. And
has the judge had a shit first case for the day? Set the tone.
There was some it's other people's lives, so I'm not going to talk about it, but there was some fucking terrible things happen down there.
But you know what I hate is, and I've said it so many times before, my legal team like, all right, let's just wait to see what type of judge we get. I'm like, can't. Shouldn't give a fuck what judge we get.
It plays a major role. It doesn't matter if he's white, black, Asian, female, male. They should be black and white. These are the rules. This is the evidence. But it's like, this one we got to play the left. This one's the feminist. I'm just like, fuck. After going through it, before I thought the law wasn't left up to.
Right. It's not black and white.
It's up to it's. I
feel
like
there's a lot of moving. There's a lot of factors that will play a part whether what type of judge you got.
Yes.
Who's the prosecutor?
Well, you can look at their past. You can look at their past convictions and you can see. So, and just from what we were going through, as we had a recess, and I was up after the recess, and my barrister was like, "Hey, look, I'm not going to bullshit you. It's not great. What's going on is not great. I think it would be wise to plead guilty to this." Did he accept it?
Did he say though? Did he warn you that, or advise you that if you do plead guilty, then this may play a part in family court later on, or anything, or was he just criminal court focused?
No. We were criminal court focused because I think it was the options were go home to my other two kids, or not. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of the options. That's what he kind of felt like, and. Like I said, I don't understand the process too much, like until I've spent more time talking about it. Not to say that I'm definitely not an expert on any of it, but just my experiences with it. And he just advised me that he thinks that, I don't know how to word this because I know my lawyer said to word it in a certain way, but the best option was to was to accept the facts and to accept the facts entirely and to plead guilty. Because pleading guilty, don't waste the judge's time. Yeah. They usually give you you get a percentage on your conviction. And so he thought that would be very beneficial to me. And being that I've got a son that lived with me full time, a daughter that I have access to all the time, if I go to jail, I lose all access to that. So the big picture was, do I fight this? Do I fight all these allegations, or do I accept them and and just go accept the DVO, accept what I've got to do, and go back and be the best parent I can be to the 2 kids that I do get to see? And I felt that at the time that was the option that I had, that I wanted to take.
And this is what's important to note for fathers watching. I call this situation dependent, as in everyone's scenario is different. There might have been a father in Brentin's shoes now in that same scenario, but he might have not had other kids elsewhere. So, he might have gone, no, I'm going to keep pushing forward. Fight it. Everyone's scenario is different. There's a lot of, because other people moving, I would have done this. Like, I get on my, mate, I would have done this, would have done. It's like, right, mate, you don't know the context. You've watched a 1 minute reel on the thing. You haven't watched a full episode, and you go, and everyone thinks they're not. But yeah, so there's, I'm bound to get some of that. That I've got accused of this, accused of that, and I'm an ex-professional MMA fighter, and they're like, he would have done it. He would have done that. Yeah. I've accepted that. They say Beethoven had his critics too. So. Did they bring that up during the discrimination that you're an MMA fighter?
Yeah, that was
your trained killer.
They did not in that term, but they were basically like
MMA fight aggressive.
When we wanted to do like pre-sentencing stuff, they did it all in one day. When you wanted. My barrister's going to give he's going to say, who am I as a person? Talk about my other kids, talk about my job, talk about my career, partner. Basically, the judge is like, he literally is like, I've heard enough. I've made my decision already. I was like, well. Then I can't, this is just what I remember from him. I can't say it's word for word or anything, but he basically said, so my partner remembers it clear as day because she thought I was getting locked up. She started crying, thought I was getting locked up. They basically like, with the intimidation charge, which is great. Like the intimidation charge comes as a joint charge of stalk and intimidate. It sounds fucking terrible, right? I know. I lived an hour and a half around stalking anyone. Yeah. So shit like that. Like I'm probably getting shit for saying that, but fuck, I'm not going to accept. Like I had to accept it, but fuck, I'm not someone going to stalk anyone. Like
I know.
Anyways, like maybe it's because there's things like doing them, calling. Too much is essentially.
I think it's over 5. I don't know. It's over a certain number.
But like I said, making decisions on emotion.
Yeah, of course. Kids are involved. Emotions are high. So like, if you didn't have kids involved and you're arguing over fucking house or whatever, so, okay.
So like those decisions based on emotion, that's one that, like I said, that's what I want to do. Fighting fathers, hopefully help men bring awareness to maybe take a step back. As hard as it is, take a step back because the outcome at the end, if you don't, can be much worse. Like 2 years without no communication for 2 years. Much worse than missing one FaceTime.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's the big picture what I want to try and get out, the message out.
And that's why I do the podcast, because this wasn't around when I went through it. Fuck, if I could have tuned in an episode, I would have. Oh fuck, dude.
When I seen this when I first reached out to you, I was like, this is it's unreal. I never had something like this, and to see there's more than just me going through. Because you think the whole world's closing in on just you, like you're the only one dealing with it. Well, and then you deal with it, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is fucking more common than not.
Well, you're in the group convo, eh?
Yes.
Sorry. Well, I kicked someone out the other day, but one guy was stressing. He's like, please don't close down this convo because I need You see a lot
of the guys in there are
picking each other's brains. And
a lot of men. So let me just touch on the. Let me go back to that, and I'll go back to this. Just because I so then I got obviously pled guilty. Didn't truly understand all the terms and all the what was going on. Pled guilty, copped what I copped. And then the judge basically was something along the lines of because I'm a combat athlete, maybe he said, or used those. Maybe even said cage fighter.
Maybe he said
because I'm a cage fighter that I'm more of an intimidating person, because that's the intimidation charge, was the feeling that they felt intimidated by my presence. So intimidated they sat in court for 8 hours. Across the room, like really intimidated, right? anyways, like I said, I don't want to get into
I know
tit for tat bullshit, but that's what it is. What it is. I accepted it. Like I said, do the crime, do the time. I didn't understand the decisions I'm making were going to have such an impact on me afterwards. Now I understand it. That led me into obviously fighting fathers and stuff to hopefully share the story to make other people aware of things like that.
Yep.
That these are the small decisions that you make can have a massive impact later on. So
Absolutely.
everything should be like text messages and phone calls or emails. You should definitely should. You need to think logically when you do it, because if you are driven by emotion, like I said before, it's you just do the wrong thing. It lands you in hot water.
I recommend email because anyone I can save your number as a different dude's name.
Yes.
And just texting. It's so easy to sign up on a text message.
Yeah, it's the same as videos and stuff too, like the video evidence
AI,
stuff.
fucking now you could
it's crazy. So that was and like to go back to talking about the group, having that there for people to talk to, because what I've found by talking to a lot of people is there's the family breakdown. And then I feel like I don't know if it's the right word, but the father gets ostracized from I think that's the right word for it. They do. Okay, and like I said, I didn't start fighting fathers to demonize women. My whole thing was, if we can create better men and better fathers, the kids benefit, and so do the women, whether it's the ex or the new partner. Anyway, women in general will benefit from men being better men. Yeah. Like if you can help men be more rational with their decision making and maybe not so heated and on emotion, it's only going to have a better outcome for everyone involved. Mm-hmm. You, your partner, ex-partner, kids, everyone. It's going to have a better outcome, right? Yep. So like with the group, how you've got that there for them to bounce ideas off each other and stuff. It's great because a lot of men say they kind of get I feel they get sidelined from lots. Like they all of a sudden say you're working in the mines. Yeah. You lose your kids. You're going through a family breakdown. Obviously, your partner has the kids. Say you share the house. They stay in the house. You don't. Then obviously you go through litigation stuff. Then you lose the house. Mm-hmm. Your ex gets the house or whatever. However it goes down. But usually, from my experience, more common than not that goes that way. That's right. As people you spoke to on that, when was the last time you spoke to someone where the man got the house and kept the kids? I've never heard of. There you go. So, you know what I mean. So then, they kind of lose their identity as well. They lose their house. They lose their kids. Of course, they're working on the mines. You lose your identity and your world. The soul starts to close in, and then it starts to lead towards self harm and making poor decisions like that. So having the group, it gives them an opportunity to talk to people that are going through something similar, because like I said before, I found that was more beneficial to me than speaking to a psychologist, was this talking to people going through it, bouncing your shit off with their bullshit and going, hey, this is what's happening to me. And then you might be talking to 3 or 4 people that are going through something similar, and the person next to you, their story might be way worse, and then you can be like, oh fuck, I'm not having to deal with that. Like then your situation doesn't feel so bad because someone's next to you, and then and vice versa, the guy on the other side might be not dealing with as much as you, and then he can find comfort in that. Hey, I'm not there yet, so I'm going to make more decisions. I'm going to make better decisions not to land where these boys have landed. Yeah, I got you. Which I think the group is great for that, because you lose I guess you feel like you lose some of your identity. Like I have 2 kids that love and adore me, and I have full access to, and I even went a little bit dark for a bit. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean, and I've got I had my son live with me, and I just went dark for a bit. Yeah. Which so I can't even begin to imagine or put my feet in someone's shoes that
didn't have the other kids.
Doesn't have, like, for example, yourself that don't have other kids that get put in that. Like, I would never ever pretend to understand the hurt you felt versus mine. Whatever dark place you went to, like there's no comparison really, but there's a somewhat of an understanding of like, hey, like, we both have dealt with it. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? But I would never ever pretend to feel what you felt or anyone else with it. But I can just give it went dark for me, and I lived in this. I'd hate to. Of course. To deal with what you went through. You know what I mean? But yeah, so your podcast, this podcast, the group, all that stuff, I feel like it's a massive a massive help for obviously, like we see with a lot of the group. Some of it is quite intense.
Yeah, the notifications can go off.
People trying to call 50 people at once and things like that. I'm like, well, but in saying that, like that's them calling the group and stuff. That's the emotional decision making that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because calling a group of 50 strangers to tell them what's going on, like that's not logical.
No.
It
shows that's what you're doing, trying to call these ex.
That's what I was getting at. That's exactly what I was getting. So you're not making those decisions, and then, but you can them calling the group, and then we going, hey mate, just don't call the group. That might be the fucking 2 minutes they needed to. That's bit of steam gone, and now they're not going to do the call to the ex or do something dumb, maybe. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the silver lining on it. But the podcast and the group, and then all these things have just led me into like, well, with Fighting Fathers being that I come from a combat background, what helped me was training. If you can get these men that feel like they've got nothing because they've lost everything, they're going down a dark path. Maybe they've turned to drugs, alcohol, gambling. If I can get them into the gym and maybe making some better decisions
with a clearer headspace.
Like I said, when you go in and train, that you leave the gym and your mind is so clear. Like if I can get him into that space, then we can start to, and men, like I've spoke to people about this before, like women can go to coffee and they can share their emotions and stuff over coffee with their friends and that. Men, I've not found any males that I know that go have a coffee and talk about their emotions.
Yeah.
What they do is they go and get on the piss,
on the
bag, and then they go and start talking, liquid courage, and then they start talking about it. But it's never ever any conversation with substance.
Yeah.
So if you could get them away from doing those negative things, which only that you do. Say you're emotional and upset and you go and get on the piss and put $1,000 through the pokies, you don't wake up the next day feeling better.
Yeah, no.
Whatever, you're worse.
Yeah, that's right.
So like the decisions you make off the emotional decisions you make sometimes have the worst effect. So if I can help them get in the gym, once you move your body, men will you watch. Say you go to a Muay Thai class, and you watch all the guys. I'm not saying it's just guys, girls as well, because girls come to the gym as well. But when you get all the guys, you watch, you can see them forming friendships. Not because they know each other. They can be 20 years apart in age, not just because they've found a similar thing, which is fitness, training, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever it is. They found something, they have a similar interest.
Yep.
Then they start to open up and talk to each other. You watch them slowly build rapport and a friendship through that. And that made me think, well, if I can get these guys that are all like-minded, not like-minded, I guess they're going through a similar situation. If I can get them all in the gym together, say we do 30 minutes of drills and pad work and fitness, once you've moved your body in that, I find that men are much more inclined to open up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not like it's an organic dialogue, I guess you could so to speak. Yeah. Like it's not like sitting across from a psychologist and them going, so tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking on tell, I feel you're a stranger. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So with my idea behind it, because like I said, it's not all launched, nothing's launched, nothing yet. It's all just in the works. I've got moving parts everywhere with Fighting Fathers. I've got like the merch and stuff coming out, and combat range, like a grappling range and a street range and things like that. And it's not anything to do with the range. So it's just I just wanted to build awareness around it. And then once I could get the word out that this is what we're doing and this is the people I'm trying to help, then I want to do some like 10 or 12 week programs to get men in the gym to hopefully turn their negative choices into positive choices. They might not be seeing their kids at the time, but the decisions they make while they're not seeing their kids is going to echo when and if they do get to see them in the future. So if they can turn their, not go and gamble and drink and, get blind drunk, if they come to the gym and they can communicate with each other, they can share their stories. There's an organic conversation. It's not sat across the table from someone in a suit telling you coping mechanisms. It's just men talking.
Yeah.
Letting out like they, going to share their emotions that way, which I think men are more inclined to have a conversation like that than if they sat at a coffee table or they sat in front of a psychologist or something like that. So that's where I was. That's where I'm going with Fighting Fathers. That's the aim. And like your podcast and your Instagram was a big driving factor. And when I reached out to you and said, like, I'm not not interested, so to speak, is in the podcasting stuff. Like I'm way too controversial to probably put my fucking face on a podcast each week.
Yeah.
But I do want to use what I know, what I went through as to help men hopefully make better decisions. Not to make the decisions I made. Like I said, I'm not excusing the decisions I make or trying to say I didn't.
Yeah. Try and find that path of least resistance as well.
I just want to help. Now I'm like, hey, look, this happened to me. I made all the wrong decisions one could make, which it got me in this position. If I don't want to badmouth anyone, do nothing. If I can just help, if I can help these guys see that they can be better decisions and they can become, my thing was like, if you become the dad that when you see your kids, not if, when you see your kids again, that they'll be so fucking proud that you're their dad. That don't fall into this fucking trap of going down a dark path, which I did. But then you don't, and I had, I've got, like I said, I've got the 2 kids I do have full access to, and I still went down that dark path. It's not going to benefit you in the long run at all.
Yeah.
So to make the right choices, become the father that your kids will be proud of when they do get to see you. Don't become the father that when they do, and if you get to see them then, that you are the person that they've been told you are.
Yeah.
Like you are that exact person, and no one's going to be proud of someone who is at the pub every weekend, sinking beers, putting all the money in the pokies, and I'm like, but your kids will get older and they will eventually understand that, and they're like, no one wants to be proud of that.
Yeah, real quick, I've said this before. If you, in my opinion, I'm a ex gambling addict, very bad back in the day. But if you have a addictive personality, I can't stress enough. If you're going through a tough time and you're bored, that's a recipe for disaster. So for me, if I'm going through a tough time, I like to keep myself busy. And busy in work. So I like to work, keep myself busy. So, but also busy doing good things like training, stuff like that. If I'm not working, I'm sitting at home staring at the ceiling. For me, that's a recipe for disaster. So keep busy, keep active, but keep busy doing good things. And sorry, the other topic I was going to say was. Sorry, I forgot.
That's right. I will just attest to that as well, because I've obviously have a fucking addictive personality. Look at what I've done for sport. I think that goes hand in hand. Like if you have an addictive personality, like you jump into what you're doing both feet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. You'd fucking do it, and you do it to the maximum it can be done. I'm quite the same, which is why I wanted to. Do the fighting fathers thing too. If you can, if they can get in there and.
So have you officially launched that now?
Nah, so the Instagram page is up. I've not been too busy on it because I want to wait till the hard launch.
Yeah,
I've got some stuff out, like I was saying, with the combat range. Like I'm in my sponsor that's sponsored me for years, MA1 Combat, which is from down in Melbourne. He's obviously been, not obviously, but I don't know why I said that, but he's been through this. Mm-hmm. My business partner, who was a sponsor of mine for 15 years, went through it. So we all kind of put our heads together to come up with, hey, can help. We're going to, we're going to, as like something I was going to talk to you about, like a men's mental health or something where we could donate money to. I know a lot of them are a bit up and down with the donation stuff. Like, who gets the money? Does it actually go to where they're going for? Is it going to help the people we want to help and stuff? So we're trying to find a charity that we can donate percentage of the profits to of the grappling range. So I've got rash guards and training shorts.
Yep.
They're all in the country. We're just waiting to launch them.
Yep.
For them to go live. And like I said, but once we find a charity that I think and they think that is one that will benefit from it, not one that we're just giving money and that's not going to the right people. We're going to launch that, and it should be in the next week or a week or so.
Right. Well, we did. I don't know. We spoke offline. We can edit this out if we want. But we spoke about maybe putting on a fight card for fathers that are struggling.
Yeah.
Not professional, just fathers that are going through court and need that goal. Need a goal. Even for me, like I'm hoping to get on this podcast Royale in September, and hopefully, because I just know that's going to switch my headspace, and I've got a goal.
Well, as you said, then it gives you a goal.
Give me a goal. Give me incentive. I'm focusing on that. Dial my training. Dial my diet.
A lot of your energy is going to go there, which is going to take away energy that could be spent doing negative things. Yes. So my that, like we talked about with that, have that like a fight, like a father's fight night or something along those lines when we spoke about end of last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
I wanted to, obviously being in the combat world, I've seen things like Wimp to Warrior, Train Alta, all these programs where it's like you get a group of 16 men, they all train together. And then they fight each other. And then you match them up according to skill set, and they fight each other. There's no animosity, no negativity. It's all just about getting them in the gym.
Like a boot camp type thing.
Yeah, it's all just about getting them in the gym and changing their habits to positive things. And then at the end, and it gives them a goal. Because same as with jiu-jitsu, like no-gi jiu-jitsu is big. I'm not sure some of your listeners might understand jiu-jitsu, they might not.
I don't know.
But jiu-jitsu is a belt system.
Yep.
But the gi jiu-jitsu has like the karate gis they wear, the kimonos.
The
that's not as popular anymore, probably due to MMA and that. Like no gi is where you wear just like a rash guard and pair of shorts. But the belt system is kind of similar to having this program where you fight at the end of it. When you go to jiu-jitsu, it's you go there, and even if you're not a competitor, if you just do it as a hobbyist, there's a belt system, so there's your goal. I go from white belt to blue belt. Then I get my stripes, and then I go blue belt to purple belt, then I get my stripes. So you constantly, it gives you a goal. Makes you, then you're going to come back because you want to chase that goal. Yeah. So that's what I thought with that, when we spoke about the fight night, we could, it's like a 10-week or, 8, 10, 12, 16-week program, whatever you want to do. They come in 3 days a week or 3 afternoons a week, whatever it is. They all train together. They're all men going through a similar situation, or maybe have some similar situation. They share their stories, the same thing that I was talking about, like the program, they share their stories, they train together.
And instead of fighting like, you're a fighter, you normally fight, you're representing your gym that you come from. In this case, the fathers are representing their kids, like they're fighting for their kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they represent their themselves and their kids.
Yeah, that's right.
It's, like they build better habits. They're moving your body and being in the gym is, like, there's so much science out there in that now to talk about the benefits it has on you mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Then giving them that short, I guess it's not a short-term goal, so to speak, but it's reasonably short.
Yep.
10, 12, 16 weeks, reasonably short. So to have that, they do that, and then you
reasonably short for a pro fighter, could be quite lengthy.
Yeah, well, we're used to doing like 8, 10, 12-week camps before our fight, right? So that's something that obviously we'll have a conversation about when we decide if we're going to go ahead with it. But having that fight each other at the end I guess it shows too, like that's their goal at the end. And when you fighting doesn't have to be anything to do with animosity. It's a sport. Like we spar each other in the gym, try and take each other's heads off at the gym, and like it doesn't mean you don't like anyone or nothing, right?
It's just business.
I think it's just a good. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it for men to go in there, and I think every male should have to have one fight in their lifetime, just to understand where they.
So you don't freeze when it happens.
Well, you don't freeze when it happens, but also you understand when your lips should move and when they shouldn't move.
True.
Because a lot of people, and as you know from social media, a lot of people, so I had the Dolphins come in to the gym. And
the Redcliffe Dolphins?
Yeah, we ran them through a boxing session.
Yep.
And it's funny because they're all exceptional athletes.
Big boys
and shit. And then you watch, like, even they'd laugh at themselves. They're like, fuck, this is hard. You know what I mean? Like, and these are all big athletes and strong, and you watch it and they're like hitting the pads, and it's I think it's you get your get your ambitions and your capabilities mixed up. If every male was like, all right, you've got to train for a fight, whether it's 4 weeks, then you have a fight against someone. I think it would be benefit for society, because you soon understand where your capabilities and ambitions lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're like, next time you want to run your mouth and talk some shit, and be like, well, wait a minute, there's repercussions. Like,
yeah.
Maybe there's someone out there that's their argument language is just to throw hands.
Well,
if you're an arguer and you want to talk the talk, maybe you need to get in the gym and practice walking the walk, because someone one day is probably going to go, oh, all right.
Well, what were we saying the other day? hate speech, what, you get 5 years?
Hate speech, you get 5 years, but for common assault, you get 2.
So maybe don't worry about talking if you're happy to do the time.
Yes, as long as it's not GH, as long as GBH, it's not grievous bodily harm. Then as long as you go for
what's
the
the difference
body
again?
So well, I understand. I just put it in ChatGPT. I just put that bill in ChatGPT to understand. So I was like, holy fuck, this seems very broad.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're friends with Chocky and Sam that have their podcast, and I listen to theirs as well. And I was like, fuck, this is so weird. Like, you mean to say that the sticks and stones may break your bones, but this is not right.
I know, right?
This is gone completely back to front now, because now the names that will not hurt me are fucking gonna hurt me if you get locked up. So the way I understand it, like any type of protected group, which is not a white Australian, is essentially hate speech, from what I gather from what ChatGPT put out. You know, like the flag burning things and stuff. You can burn the Australian flag, but you can't burn any of the minority flags, things like that, right? So then I was like, looked at I just went down a rabbit hole with the hate speech thing, and then I was like, so hate speech is 5 years and common assault is 2 years. So if someone was to have a go at me about my political views and about being proud to be Australian, you know how they call you different names. I won't say them on here, but they call you different names.
Yeah.
You're better off just hitting them with a quick body shot.
Yep.
And then just take the slap on the wrist, because if you call them a name, you're likely to get 2.5 times the sentence.
Crazy, eh?
Which is wild, wild to me to think that. But I obviously said it as a joke. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. Guys, please don't go out there and body shot people with different political views to you.
Oh man. So when was the last time you saw or heard from your youngest son?
It was his second birthday.
How long ago was that now?
He turns 4 in March. So it must be coming up to the end. I think it was his second birthday.
Yeah.
So it would have been his second birthday.
So 2 years now?
March.
It's 2 years in April that I've seen or heard my daughter. So
I think my 2 years is up in December.
Oh, was it just passed?
Well, no, it will be up in this December for all the criminal stuff will be up in December this year. My good behaviour bond and stuff will be up. I think that's when the DVO expires as well.
Yep.
No,
2 years, that one? 5 years? Was it 3?
2, I believe, the good behaviour bond. Maybe 5 years for the 2 years for the good behaviour, 5 years for the DVO. I'll have to check the paperwork. Fuck, they give you that much paperwork. I think for me, I knew that I wasn't going to breach it. Yeah. Because I was like, I'd accepted that this is what it is. I need to focus on my life and my kids and stuff. I couldn't continually live in shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yeah. I think that's not it's not productive or positive to live that way of, if I had done this would have happened. If I had done this, I should have done this. That's just not productive. Just rather just move forward. Like, hey, when the time's up, I don't believe it's going to be an easy road, even when the time's up. Yep. Just from knowing. Yep. I know it's not going to be easy. So this might be something I'm going to have to ride out until he's old enough to reach out, which obviously sucks. It's upsetting, but I have to look at the big picture. I've got the kids I've got that I can see all the time. I feel like I sacrificed the time while I was going through court and all that stuff. I did sacrifice time with them and a lot of money, because I wasn't present when I was with them, because I was constantly stressing about money and court and stuff like that, and I just wasn't present. My lesson and what I would say to people is, like, I wouldn't. People say, "Oh, what kind of fucking dad are you? Not going to go and fight it again?" Yeah, I get that. But I can't. I don't have the money. I exhausted every finance I had and borrowed that much money from people that I've only just got on top of. I don't have the resources to do it. I don't have the time. Yeah. That sounds terrible. You don't have the time for your own kid. No, I do have the time. I got the time I have all the time in the world for him when the time comes, but I can't sacrifice the time with my other 2 kids in order to fight for time with him. Yeah, it's not realistic.
All these doctor dickheads that fucking haven't been through it or comment, they got no fucking idea.
I'm sure I'll cop. Yeah.
But the fathers that have been through it, they know. Like, they know, mate, been there, done it, know exactly what you're going through. Like,
and I think a big part of it too was like I fit the model of a person that would probably do the things that people would look at him and be like, fuck, he did it, which is what I copped on my wife's stuff. You did it. You look like a criminal. You did it.
Bikey, look at it.
Because I got tattoos, you look like criminals. Yeah, I've had these since I was 18. I got a sleeve when I was 18, like it was fucking years ago. It's nothing to do with bikies or nothing to do with trying to be hard. I got it before I even started fighting. It was never an ego thing. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. Now I'm covered in locks. It just then becomes an addictive personality. So here we are. But yeah, so that's kind of like I was going with the kids. I'm just kind of focus my energy on positive stuff moving forward, fighting fathers, fighting coaching. My kids that I got, like, spend time with them. I pulled money out of savings and everything for
I know
a lot of the money that I spent fighting it. If I had to split it 3 ways, that would be sweet when they turned 18 to buy their first car, they get rentals, but now it's like I ran them fucking things into the red hard.
Man.
So
I know that feeling.
Now I'm trying to get back in front on that. So sure, like I said, I'm sure I'll cop some flack for saying that I'm not gonna probably, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not going to continue fighting, but it's just not productive.
I threw the towel and, I say it all the time. I sold everything I had, used every money. Not only did I spend every dollar I had to then borrow money, and I got nowhere in 3 years. And, okay, I knew 3 years I got nowhere. I'm now in debt. I need to assess my life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially.
Yeah. I think that's where we found common ground when we first spoke. Yeah. It was like when we talked about what happened to you and what happened to me, and no, I guess not what happened. That sounds like we're fucking victims.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I just don't. I know what people are like with fucking this. They take one fucking little small thing, take it out of context. Like, see, chauvinist, misogynist. You know what I mean? So he's playing the victim card. Like, no. What happened? Our story, your story, my story. We found common ground.
Yeah, that's right.
So I can understand and appreciate and respect that what you're saying about you threw the towel in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's I didn't throw the towel in until it got to the point where I was like, what the fuck am I, this is unwinnable.
Put it this way, if someone asked me, a lot of people ask me, well, it's one of my conclusion questions I asked, knowing what you know now, would you have changed anything, or and knowing what I know now, if I could turn back time, I'd either self-represent, which I know would just be a workload and a half already, or I wouldn't fight at all. Now people are like, how do you, like, mate, I've been down the road.
You can't
until you go down the road, you will never understand.
What do you?
If you want to fight, you go fight. Let me know how it goes for you.
How can you give a? I guess everyone's entitled to opinion. Fuck, at the moment we see it online with the politics stuff. That everyone has a fucking opinion now. I could run the country better, this and that. It's fuck, we can't. I'll have enough trouble running my own finances, let alone run a country.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So but unless you've walked a mile in them shoes, right?
That's
How
right.
can you you can have an opinion, but your opinion falls on deaf ears, because unless you've lived it, you don't haven't experienced the shit that goes on all 24 hours a day in your head.
You probably get it going to, when you're not fighting, you'll probably go to the tavern when there's UFC fight on, and like you always get that one.
I don't go, so I know what you're gonna say. I don't fucking go.
And I just I love watching it. I don't say what I'm about to say. These guys, he should have ducked and wheeled. It's like, bro, like you don't even train, you don't even fight. But whenever there's UFC fight on, everyone's always a professional.
Yeah.
This is just guy tradies at the pub. Like, would have fucking thrown the left foot. It's like, bro, look at you. You don't even fight. Like, how are you voicing your opinion? Like,
He's resting his beer on his beer gut. He's never thrown a punch in his life. Just get up.
I'm trying to think, how did your brain work to make such an open statement? I would feel embarrassed to say that. It's like,
remember what I said before? Ambitions and capabilities.
Right.
Men are the worst for it. You see it in gyms all the time. They come in and they're covered in tattoos. They're big and steroided up.
Bro,
they couldn't fucking punch the skin off custard.
But yeah, okay.
But yeah, I fully get where I feel like we have that common ground on that, and like I said, not playing the victim card. We just have common ground in situations.
Yeah, of course.
And people that haven't lived it, they can have their 2 cents, but it's very. Yeah. It kind of falls on deaf. At this point too, for me, I just let it go now.
I feel like there's going to be fathers out there that have had made a general, these goddamn fight for the kids, and then I don't wish them any karma, but I feel like later on in life they're going to come. One of them's going to be bound to find themselves in our shoes, and they're going to go, fuck, like I shouldn't have said what I said back then. Or, mate, they were right. And then I'll let you find out the hard way.
Yeah, 100%.
And the same people said it to me. Like, I remember my mate who said it to me before I even filed for family court. He goes, don't even waste your time. And I was like, what? He goes, you're wasting your time.
Oh, I'd mate say the same thing, but I didn't
mate,
listen to him because I never dealt with it.
Yeah, and I was like, who are you? He actually had dealt with it. And I was like, mate, who are you? I'll prove you wrong. I'll fight. And he was right. He goes, I fought, and look, I got nowhere. In 3 years, I got fucking nowhere. And guess what? I'm going to tell someone the exact same thing he told me, because I've been down that road now. And the next time someone sees me, I'm like, look, mate, in my opinion, you're wasting your time. And that guy's going to give me the same answer that I gave for my mate. He's like, fuck you, mate, I'll show you.
Mine's the exact same. My friend that I train with, and a good friend of mine, he said the same thing because his brother had gone through it and self-represented it, and his parents had helped out heaps, and they fucking spent heaps of money on it. So obviously I'm not going to share other people's stories, but he said that he wished that maybe they didn't dive so deep in, because once you get so deep in, you can't back out.
Yeah, mate.
It's like
quicksand.
I've spent all this money now. What's another $7,000 today? What's another $7,000 in the next 2 months when you got to go back with a barrister and shit? Until the point he started representing himself, and it was just it just didn't work. And he said, bro, maybe it's time not to fight. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm not giving up on my son. You know, that same thing. Like, I'm not giving up. I'm not a pussy. I'm not giving up.
Whatever.
And then looking back now, and like, you know, to answer what you said before about that's, you know, when you have that final question about would you do anything different, and I'm the same as you. 100%. I wouldn't.
Well, you hold it. I'll ask.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it.
Well, have we missed anything? I know we've gone 1,000 a day. Because I do have a list of conclusion questions, but I don't like to ask them until we've made sure we've crossed all the.
No, I guess I just really want to emphasise, this. I just want to emphasise the fact that I didn't want to come on here to, like I said, to bag out the ex, to bag out the system. I think your podcast has sent that message out enough of the system. I don't need to come in and I can just share my story of what the system, the family court system, I guess you could speak, or going through. I never made it to that point, but you know, going through family breakdowns, I can only I can just share my story, and not to say they're all going to be like that, but I didn't come on to knock anyone down, to talk bad on anyone, to say the judge did, you know, I gave you my version of events and what I thought happened with the judge. That I'm not saying he did right or wrong. I'm not saying the prosecutor or my ex or anyone, my legal team, nothing. I've accepted these are the facts. This is the outcome. All I want to do is come on and share my story so that maybe people are listening when they go to make the call or want to go to mediation. Maybe something I've said maybe might resonate with them and they go, fuck, you know what, Brentin, you know, this happened to him. I don't want to have to go through that. You know, maybe they will try more to band-aid fix the broken relationship to stay amicable for the child, as opposed to being stubborn, going, fuck, this isn't half mine, I want him when I want him. You know, which is, you know, looking back, I wish that, you know, saying about that last question, that was probably mine. I would make a much different decisions.
All right, well,
but yeah, I don't want people to nitpick and take small snippets of this and say, you know, and to look at me and go, oh fuck, he's playing the victim, blah blah blah. I'm not the victim at all. No, I don't pretend to be the victim. This is my story, and if people want to take it for what it is, or they want to talk shit about me, whatever, they can do it. Fall on deaf ears, anyways. But I just wanted to share it for this. You know, if it helps one person out there, my time on here successfully, if it helps one person make a better decision.
Absolutely. Before I ask these questions, the word combat kept popping up. You combat fighter. Yeah. But is it, though you would have heard that in court, combat. It's like this word they just, you're combat. Like, you're a combat fighter in the ring. I've got a combat background in the military. Yeah. But, you know, it's like they love to throw that word in their combat.
So that was the end of the
combat.
I think that's the word they used, was a cage fighter. So you're a combat athlete. Yeah. You're more, you know, I think I said it before. You carry a more intimidating presence or something along those lines, which then fell into the intimidation thing. I'm like, and that was very confusing to me because I'm like, wait a minute. Being intimidated is an emotion. So you mean to say that I have to change who I am or how I communicate or the things I do entirely because you, Jared Purcell, feel intimidated by me? Wait a minute, that's your emotion. I don't know. Whatever your upbringing was that makes you feel intimidated just by the things I say, how come that's my fault?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I didn't understand, because I was always brought up to be like, if you could just say what you feel, be true to yourself. If you're true to yourself, doesn't matter what anyone says, right? Like you can only be yourself.
Yep.
Now, if you start to tiptoe around and change who you are to say things to make other people feel comfortable and shit, then you're not yourself.
Yeah,
right? Then you're
right.
a chameleon.
Yeah, that's right.
You're just changing to become the most liked person in the room.
Yeah.
I don't just pick
no one
that.
likes chameleons.
Fuck no, but I'd rather have no friends than 20 fake ones,
That's
right? That are just trying to adapt to become someone they think I want to be, I want them to be.
Yeah.
I was quite confused with that part of it, was like this intimidation thing. I was quite confused because I was like, you're just saying that now someone is intimidated by who I am as a person, and then that opens up the door to, like we talk about this new hate speech stuff, that opens up the door there too, because now I'm like, well, now I can just fucking say, well, I feel threatened and intimidated by the words that are leaving your mouth.
Yeah.
It's fucking words.
I know.
Like, pull your fucking adult pants on and
it's gonna be
keep moving forward.
Interesting to see what happens with these, hate speech, to see if, who starts getting charged or arrested. I mean, I'm seeing a few people on Monday. I won't say because the timing of it in case people refer, but not that it matters because this won't get released till then. But, well, mate, I've got 6 questions here. Yep. Same questions I asked all my guests. We've probably just touched on them, but first question is, any advice for fathers? Knowing what you know now, would you have changed anything during the court process?
I'd 100%, like I said before, would have done things different. I wouldn't...
Let the emotions settle, don't do the phone calls all the time.
I would let the...
emotion settle.
Emotion settle would be... like, take a step back. And like I said, I know I'm pretty much contradicting myself here, because I said when I went to the psychologist, they give you the coping strategies, count 1 to 10, and you go 110, I'm fucking angry. So I'm kind of contradicting myself when I say it, but that, taking a step back, and then, I feel like a broken record by saying, make decisions on logic, not emotion. Yeah. But fuck, at the end of the day, that's so important, I believe. I reckon that's the biggest take, is when you make them emotional decisions, you fucking say things you don't mean, you insult, you raise your voice, you just it's not truly who you are. It's just an emotional fucking explosion.
Yeah.
Where I think that taking time out, that's what I'll be like, fuck, get in the car and go to the gym. Or just put your running shoes on, go for a run, fucking sprint as far as you can.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you're going to make a much better decision when you've fucking, your hands are on your knees and you're barely being able to breathe.
Yeah.
You're not going to be thinking of being angry.
Yeah.
You might still have it there, but I think you'll make a better decision. Yeah. And I that's what I did. And I have Miles Muki, who owns the gym, and my partner Kat to thank for that, for me to realize that, because they'd be like, hey, Miles would be like, hey, fucking get your ass in the gym. And that's probably the reason why I took I was already retired, and then I took another fight, because once I started getting back in the gym,
that's right. Your routine,
I seen how positive the structure and routine was. I was like, fuck, and I felt good again, and I was like, I'm going to go and have a fight.
Yeah.
And then I got back in there, and it was the best thing that could happen. But that's the message I would like to get out, would be like, hey, move your body, go do something productive, and I think that you'll find that the decisions you make will be way better, and in the long term, you'll get. No, what should I say? I don't know how to word that without saying shit. You'll get what you want, not what you want.
The better outcomes.
You'll just get a better outcome. Especially if your kids are a little bit older, and you don't want your kids to see you yelling fucking abuse across the house at each other and shit, because all that shit sticks around. Yeah. When you're older, you might not, you don't think it does affect you at the time, and then you get older, and then you start to act a certain way. You're like, holy fuck, that's my dad though. My dad did that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's positives and negatives to that. You can do some good things, and then you take some of the negatives. Everyone understands that. But yeah, so make decisions on logic. Yeah. Make more rational decisions. Yeah. Don't fucking just explode and go off the handle, and then you fucking call 20 times and you fuck you. Like,
Leaving
then you're leaving me a text, fuck off, you know, like, and then you play tit for tat with each other and fucking, and it's just, there's no, I can't stress enough, there is no positive outcome to come from tit for tat going back and forwards. Like, and it's not going to work for you and your ex, and it sure as fucking shit isn't going to be beneficial to your kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I did those, I did that, and that's why I said I was never ever, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to excuse the things I did, because the things I did are what got me to where I am now.
Yeah.
They weren't great, like they, you know, some things I did weren't positive, but they are what got me to the position I am now, and talking about it, and I believe what I'm talking about is a positive thing from a negative situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, man. Question number 2, how do we change the system?
I don't think the system will be changed by any one of us. I don't think the system will be changed by any group.
Soon, yeah.
Well, in any group now, especially now. Fuck you! Imagine starting a group of fighting. Imagine starting a broken fathers group to combat family law, and then we get thrown in as a hate group.
Thrown in prison,
and then anyone attached to us is looking at 5 years, and as say we started it, it's 15 years. I think it said on there. If you start a group that they deem as a hate group, and like you said, there's no due process, and it's like, no, that's a hate group. Those 2 go to jail. These 50 people that are subscribed to this group, if they don't unsubscribe, they got 5 years. You know, I don't understand it fully. I just wouldn't touch ChatGPT to see what it was. But so I don't think the system. I think the system's broken. Obviously, hence why we're both doing what we're doing. You went through it. I went through it. You can see it you get to see it from the inside, and like the legal jargon and the different little strings they pull and stuff. It's like, I think it's like it's never going to be it's not even successful for the women's half of it, like, so I don't think either, because they got to deal with all the shit too, right? I think some of them get a better run.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, after listening to some of the guests on here, they get a lot of, I feel like, you know, I can only speak from my personal experience, because I'm not going to pretend I'm living anyone else's shoes. But listening to some of your guests, and the things they went through and the outcomes they got, it feels like it's heavily geared one way.
It is. I'll say.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I've been told to tiptoe on certain things.
It's openly spoken about. Senator Paul Hanson said it himself. It's favour to the women.
Yeah.
You know. So
I just thought, like I said, I just want to get. I have an investor in Fighting Fathers, which.
Yeah, I understand.
So and he's made it very clear to me. To just be not so controversial, which is fair, which is probably makes me a better person, right? He's doing me a favour, because then that's a way for me to think, all right, if I say this or do this, how will it affect not only me, how will it affect these other people? So it's made me, I think it's made me a better person as well, by him putting that little bit of pressure on me, like, hey, you think about what you're gonna do and say and do, because it's no longer just affects you anymore. You know, you got kids. Awesome. I got my family. Yeah. He's got his family. So, but he's so I just have to tiptoe around certain things, because I don't want to get. I don't want
to. The third one, it's a funny question. You're on death row. The guard comes and asks you what you want for your final meal, drink, and dessert. So, like your last supper.
I would probably. Like just a massive Middle Eastern feast of all mixed grill, all the different dips and breads. I don't even want dessert. I don't even want.
So many people are skipping dessert. I don't get it. Bro.
I'd rather have two mains.
Replace the dessert with another meal.
I'd go that, and then I would have pizza and pasta. I'd just be
Italian.
I'd be on Dev's doorstep, fat as.
Oh, and there's a drink. You already wash it down with.
I wouldn't even drink, because it'd take up too much room. Fuck it. I just want all the food.
Oh, bro, I don't get it why people. I've had a few guests.
Have some fizzy drink, bro, and you get a little bloated gut, and you can't fit any more pasta in.
You don't have a sweet tooth in general?
No, I do when I have my medication at night. I get a little bit of sweet tooth. Yeah. I need to get a padlock for the fridge.
I was saying to the missus, because like, man, the wee gummies, like, I love them. The only downside is, well, if you're dieting, is the munchies, and like,
fuck, it's get you. I was 3 a.m. this morning.
Uber Eats, Baskin Robbins, 1 litre, extra fudge topping, boom, 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 and just sit there.
Well, what funny? Like, it probably goes a bit off topic, but it's quite funny. My partner, so instead of doing like a weekly shop, she can't do it.
Yeah.
Because once, like last night, for example, there was like a dip in the fridge that was supposed to be for lunch
The
or
whole
something.
week,
And then I bought like cheese and bacon shapes and Vegemite shapes. And at 3 o'clock this morning, I couldn't sleep anymore. Like I had a bit of a night terror, and munchies are on them. The whole box and the whole dip. Gone, you know, like she's like, but fuck, you can't. Every time I buy stuff for home, you don't get it.
We were eating at the same time. I got home I was just going to bed about 3, and my mum made banana cake. My missus went and saw my mum, and I got home, I was finishing,
So no drink, nothing fizzy, just fucking, just food.
All right. If you were in a room with every single person you'd met or interacted with on this journey, who was the first person you'd be drawn to and why? And you can put that journey back from just before you went to Canada. Like,
say it again. Sorry,
if you were in a room right now,
yep,
with every single person you'd met or interacted with on this journey, who was the first person you'd be drawn to and why?
Fuck, there's so many for different reasons. Where it might be like my fighting, could be the, you know what, fucking no, that's a hard one. I think my partner, like I always go back to my current partner now, Kat. But she was like ride or die from when we were just friends. She come to all the like court, like help me financially.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how she dug her claws in to keep me around, help me out and support me. And then she's like, now you can't leave.
Yeah.
So her and Miles, I talk about the boss of the gym. They were just like when I went through rough patch, like ebbs and flows, ups and downs, peaks and troughs, whatever you want to call it. When I would have the down, I feel like them two, and they like. I say all the time. I say they conspired against me because I didn't like. They would communicate out around me.
Yeah.
Because like going through me, I would shut it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Just being, I was depressed. The life of the world was out to get me. I thought, I was playing the victim card then.
Yeah.
Truly the victim card. Like, oh, why is this happening to me? And I couldn't get out of my own way. They kind of would help me with that. You know what I mean? They would just be, they would team up, be like, get me in the gym to hit pads, and I think without those two doing that, I think I would have maybe not come to this conclusion and to be have such clarity in the decisions that I make now and moving forward with fighting fathers with my coaching and stuff. Maybe I wouldn't have so much clarity because maybe I would have stayed stuck in that toxic cycle of bullshit happening. Yeah, so I'd say Miles and my partner Kat, they definitely would be they know. I don't know if that even answers it, but they're the two people that I'll be drawn to now because I feel like they were responsible for some of the biggest changes. And I was quite against having another partner after I had two failed relationships. So then I was like, I'm never doing this again. And then lo and behold, she hung around long enough and she broke down the barriers.
I'll shout out to Kat and Miles. Mate, what strategies or tips helped during the process that you could recommend to any listeners?
Move your body.
But
move your body.
Yeah,
I think I can't stress it enough that just move your body.
Yeah.
If you're not into combat sports, go for a run. If you like surfing, go put your board in.
Yeah.
If you like me, obviously I fight. My hobby is road bikes. If I feel like I'm under pressure, I put my headphones in and go for a ride up Mount Tamborine.
Yeah.
It's at that speed on a motorbike. There's not very many decisions you can only make. Decisions you can only make at left and right. They're the split second decisions right in front of you. You don't have time to think about anything else. Then you get back and you're like, fuck, I don't feel too bad. Then you're like, how can I address this problem?
I hear a lot of
with a clear mind.
Yeah.
And then you make it, and then I feel like I just sometimes I'll sit down, even if I can't work, if I'm trying to do something on the computer and I just can't think.
Yeah.
I just jump, go for a quick ride, come back, and I'm like, well, fuck, there it is.
There we go.
There you go, yeah. So I would say if you have a hobby or something, the best thing to do is if you're starting to feel stressed, clouded, whatever you want to do, that if you're starting to feel that hole close in, that little, getting a bit of a depression, depressive thoughts happening, go do something you enjoy. Don't do the things that you fucking maybe you think would help. Beers, bags, pokies, they don't help.
Strippers.
It's as a fucking, it was just it'll double down and you'll feel worse.
Yeah, jet ski's a good one. I don't have it anymore because sold it because of family court. Mate, last one. This gets some fathers emotional, some not. But any message for your children?
For my two kids, my first two. I'd like to thank my eldest son for showing me who I was when I was his age and understanding how to, gave me a reality check.
He's 19.
He's 19. Yeah, he turns 20 in November. He gave me a real reality check as to maybe who I was as a teenager. I was like, fuck, man, maybe I was hard to deal with. Bit more respect for my old boy for dealing with me as well. So maybe the few beatings I got were definitely well warranted. You know what I mean? So yeah, for my son, just for he's, and like I said, him and him are really close now.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe thank him for being a bit of a shit when he was younger, because it changed my view on parenting. For my daughter, I don't need her to change, bro. She's fucking
perfect.
Yeah, like she's my son would probably be like, fucking hell, your favourite. But she idolises him as well. Remember the 8-year gap? You know what I mean? So she's like, that's my big brother. She idolises him, and because there's a big age gap. Yeah, it's not like that. 2 year age gap where it's like they're almost there's 8 years. So he's a adult now. He's a full grown man, lives with his partner, and so she's she's good. Like I wouldn't change anything. Like I'm glad that I'd probably thank her and her mum for allowing me, allowing is the right word, for not shutting the door on me, for allowing me and my daughter to have such a great relationship. And then she supports it, I think of that. And for my my younger son, I just hope maybe, I don't know, over the course of now until I get to see him, I will see him again. Like I said before, I can't afford or to sacrifice time with my other kids to keep fighting. I hope one day he sees this and sees that I don't want to talk bad about his mum. Don't want to talk bad about his stepdad. I just hope that one day that I can have a meaningful relationship with him. It might not be next year. It might not be 10 years. I don't know. I'm not going to put a time on it. I don't want to put pressure on it. I think one day, hopefully he sees this and sees that I'm not a bad person. I come from a small city. I was the only one really from that city that fought. I think, I know a lot of people down there. A lot of people know I'm down there. I say that, I'm not saying that for clout or anything like that. I owned the gym down there. I was doing MMA, when it was starting to boom, and I was the only one from down there that was competing professionally doing it. So I hope that he gets to see who I was, with fighting and hockey, and can just see that, and then just know that maybe I'm not the person that he's been made out that I am. I'm not saying that he's gonna get fed true or false things. I just hope one day that I have the opportunity for him to know who I am personally, without any outside noise, without any other people's idea of who I am as a person, without whether they bashing my character or not. I just hope one day that me and him can have a meaningful relationship, and that that he can see see his brother and sister.
Absolutely.
My daughter at 11, she still can't understand why she can't see her little brother. It's quite upsetting. She doesn't understand. Like my son obviously does. He's older. He's a grown man. He understands it. But she can't understand why that she can't tell her friends about her little brother, why she can't see him, why she has no photos, and and I can't. She's not old enough for me to sit down and be like, hey, darling, this is why we're in this situation. That I made some mistakes, and this happened. We had a family breakdown, and we ended up in this situation. So I hope one day that I can have a meaningful relationship, and more than that, I hope my parents, before they leave the earth, I hope that they get to they got no relationship with him either, obviously. I hope they can build a relationship with him. I hope my kids can build a relationship with him, and I to be honest, I hope that I would much prefer that to happen even before I would build a relationship with him.
Yeah.
I think that time's ticking. I think they deserve that. They never did anything. This is things that happened between me and her. My parents weren't responsible for anything. I don't feel like they should be victims of it. As they didn't do anything. They should have access to him and stuff. Yeah. And same as my kids, they played no role in any of this. Yeah, and I feel like
domino effect.
I feel like they're punished for something they had no control over, which I don't think is fair. But so I do hope that one day that I can build a meaningful relationship with him, and that he can meet his grandparents, meet his brother and sister. They're blood brother and sister.
Yeah, bro.
I hope that can happen. I'm not gonna say I'll hold my breath for it. I hope. I do hope, and I hope that even I don't know if this is the right thing to do or say, but even if anyone watching it is connected to them, I hope they can see that what went down. We can't change it. I wish them nothing but the best in their life moving forward. But I hope they can see that what went on. I've grown from it. I've learnt from it, and now I'm trying to help people.
Yeah, man.
Not make the same mistakes. I hope they can see the positive in that, and maybe that might be the thing that sets off me having a relationship with him. I don't know, but if they're watching, I hope they see that.
Hopefully, yeah.
The person who maybe they think I am is not who I am. Like, they can watch however much this gets aired or whatever, and I'm not on here talking down to any one person. I don't have any. I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I have no hard feelings towards any of the people from that side. I just don't have room for it. I think that's probably maturity. Dealing with my own demons and maturing. I just don't have time for that. Life's too short. As you get older, more people that you love leave the earth. Yeah. And you realize, like time runs out pretty quick as you get older. So hopefully they can see that this is that's a period of time that I'm sure they wish and I wish didn't happen. It did happen. Here's where we are. Is there a path moving forward which doesn't involve so much grief and loss and toxicity in it? Yeah. I hope that we can get to that point. Like, I'm not saying I'd ever want to be friends or anything like that. I'm not saying I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. The goal is have a relationship with my son.
Of course.
But I wouldn't. Like I said, me and my my older two, me and their mother and her partner, we talk on the phone. Like, my current partner and the kid's mum get along fine. Like, my daughter texts my partner and stuff. Like, they all text each other. I'm not saying that that's where this relationship could get to. I'm not against it, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it. But I just do hope that at some point, both sides can be like, all right, life's short.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting too old.
Time's ticking.
Let's put this to bed and move forward. That's what at the end of the day, that's what I really hope for. Yeah. I just hope that I can build a strong relationship with him and he can meet my side of the family. That's
well said, bro. Well said, mate. How are we feeling?
Yeah, that's the last bit's a bit of a harder bit, but I think I've been told we've spoken about it so much, and I've spoken to so many people about it. I think I've become more conditioned to the conversation.
Yeah, it's also good just to put it, air it for once. Say for like people want to hit me up. Oh, what happened? I said, listen, if you want, here's the episode. I said, I'm not going to spend the next 3.5 hours. Like, if you want to know the details, here it is. It's done. And I feel like me and a lot of my guests that come on, they're a bit worried about coming on them, but they go, man, I'm so glad I did, because it's just done. I can just move on with life now. I've said it. Yeah, it's there now, and it's just a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That's why when coming in, I was never coming in with the mindset of attacking or being a victim or nothing. I just wanted to share what happened so that people can take from what they will and make their decisions off of it. They can choose to call me a piece of shit or whatever they want to do. They can accuse, they can label me as whatever they want. Really, I know who I am. I know what went through. I know the progress I've made in myself.
Yep.
I guess that people can have their opinion. Fuck them.
Right.
They can do whatever they want to do. I'm not, I can't change other people's opinions. That's how they feel. But I do hope that the right people see it, can see that there's no. I'm not vilifying anyone. I'm not, I'm not playing victim. I'm not doing that. I've accepted everything. And I just want people not to make the same mistakes I made. That would be the ultimate goal.
Absolutely.
Don't make those same mistakes. Don't end up in a position like this. Maybe there's other ways. There's more mature and positive ways to go about things.
Yep.
And that's kind of the message. And I hope when people watch it, they take that away from it. Not, oh, look at he fucking thinks the system's no good, or he's not taking accountability or anything like that. Like, I hope that people watching from the outside looking in can see that there is accountability.
No,
I accept it.
Yeah,
I want to move forward and make better decisions moving forward, which I feel like I have. I want other people to watch this and have them make better decisions. And in the big scheme of things, like I said earlier, better men create better fathers.
Yeah.
Create better partners. So who loses? If we create better men, who loses? No one.
No, that's right. Yeah.
The kids benefit.
Yeah.
The ex-partner, the current partner.
Yeah.
Parents, whatever. Anyone in your life is going to benefit from you.
Yeah.
Making better decisions. Yeah. Which is the ultimate goal in the end, which is what I want to do with Fighting Fathers.
Nice, bro. Mate, on behalf of the Broken Fathers podcast, I'd like to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I know I appreciate it, but I know my guests will appreciate it too. And mate, we'll hopefully put something in the works later in the year. Hopefully, Fight card. But
stay tuned for the Fight card. I think we'll definitely. I think from what we spoke about and the people around us, I think we'll definitely make it happen. So I think hopefully the listeners and that stay tuned for it and keep an eye out for it, because I think it'll be a fun night.
Yeah, sweet.
That's what we want to be, right?
100%. And other than that, mate, all the best, and
thank you. You too.
I'll see you at training.
We'll do.
See you, brothers. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.